College football Saturday in the city of Riverside. The third-ranked RCC Tigers taking on the 16th-ranked Eagles of Mount San Jacinto. Once again, alongside Jeff Gorham, Ghazal Hassan back with you. Welcome to Wheelock Stadium. And Jeff, the offense for the Tigers just keeps on rolling. Back-to-back 700-yard performances. They've totaled 122 yards over the last 2 weeks. Brady Jones, the top passer in the state, with over 1,600 yards throwing. Kevin Kraft is the new guy in charge, and his play calling seems to be working out a little bit.
It's working out fine. I'll tell you what, you talk about the last two quarterbacks that have been here at RCC prior to that young man. They have gone on to big things. Retzlaff over at BYU doing phenomenal things. And then, of course, Jordan Barton up at Sac State. But this third guy, the new guy, is going to be something special for the rest of the season.
Mr. Jones and me up and down the football field, moving over to the Eagles of Mount San Jacinto, coming off, Jeff, a very impressive victory. They held Fullerton College to 156 total yards in a 35-28 win. The defensive guru, Casey Mazzata, is the head coach over at Mount San Jacinto, but they're not neglecting the offense either. Their quarterback, Logan Gonzalez, he is the second leading passer in the state, slinging it around to the tune of 1,321 yards and 10 touchdowns. He's got a favorite target as well. His Olu teammate, Jackson Wang, the top wide receiver from Mount San Jacinto. James Cook's crew going to have their hands full this afternoon.
If you build it, they will come. A brand new stadium in Menifee is drawing everybody from that Temecula Valley region and some big stars. They are going to be formidable for the foreseeable future with great facilities and great coaching staff.
All right, the traditional power, the RCC Tigers against the upstart, the Eagles of Mount San Jacinto. Looks to be a very intriguing matchup here this afternoon on College Football Saturday on Riverside TV. Back at Wheelock Stadium, you see the coin flip taking place at midfield. Our white hat will give us the signal. So the Tigers win and defer. With that, we'll defer to our man on the field, the great award-winning Pep Fernandez.
Hey, Ghazal and Jeff. Before the game, I ran into George Jones. He is the head baseball coach for Vista Murrieta High School. He's also the father of RCC quarterback Brady Jones. Coach Jones was telling me that Brady Jones and the MSJC quarterback Logan Gonzalez, great quarterback battle this afternoon, but they're also friends. They both grew up in the city of Murrieta. They grew up with one another. They went their separate ways when they got a little bit older. Now we've got Logan Gonzalez across on the other sideline for Mount San Jacinto, and Brady Jones here on the RCC sideline. So very familiar with one another as we go into a great game and a great quarterback battle. Guys?
100%, Pep. And beyond that, it's going to be a battle of two teams that are going to contend for the conference championship. This is a big game for the Tigers, Jeff. It's also a really big game for the Eagles, who come off that stunning victory over Fullerton College, and they dominated, at least on the defensive side.
Well, I think it's because they want to be where RCC is now. I mean, they've thrown money into the program. They've got a beautiful facility. And I'll tell you what, kids are going to start going to Mount San Jacinto rather than going to Saddleback, going to across the different spots, because they're so close and off the freeway now. And a lot of these guys are local. This is like an local all-star
This is an all-star game. This is exactly what it is. We're going to see a lot of Vista Murrieta, a lot of Rancho Verde, a lot of those types of schools that are lined up there. Two inland powers, the traditional power in the Tigers and the young upstart in the white-clad Eagles, and the Tigers kick it away. Padilla puts his foot into it. He'll boom it deep from the 1-yard line. Here's Koa Apana. He's a Temescal Canyon kid, and down he goes at the 15-yard line, making the tackle for RCC. Arash Tahian, who's a upstate New York guy, Rockland County guy, comes after playing a little bit at San Bernardino Valley. He makes a special teams hit, and it'll be 1st and 15. You remember the old movie Logan's Run, Jeff?
Of course. Sanctuary.
Let's call this Logan's Pass. Logan Gonzalez, the quarterback for Mount San Jacinto. He has flung it for 1,321 yards, second behind his childhood buddy Brady Jones. He threw for 491 yards last week against Fullerton. We've seen Fullerton College. We know how good that defense is.
Oh, they're nationally ranked. They have been so good for so long. And everybody is talking about this great young quarterback and his high school teammate receiver.
Jackson Wang split out to the near side. Kretz in the near slot. And here's the give up to Daniel Mendoza, and he'll be wrestled down at about the 5-yard line. Jawan Nixon making the tackle. We were talking to James Cook before the game, Jeff. Oklahoma with some potential interest in Jawan Nixon.
There's a whole lot of potential and a whole lot of wants from this entire defense. I mean, there are some dudes on this RCC defensive side of the football.
Jackson Wang in the far slot. Likan split out up top. And here's another give to Mendoza running to the right side, trying to establish the run. He falls over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Valencia and Nixon in on the hit for RCC. Last week against Fullerton, they were limited. They threw the ball around a lot, but they didn't get much yard, only 24 yards on the ground. And they're attempting, offensive coordinator Sekou Yansani, trying to establish the run here early against James Cook's defense.
Yeah, and we've talked about this, all coming up to this game. If San Jacinto is going to be able to stay in this ball game, they are going to have to be able to utilize the run.
Some movement up front, third down, call it 3. Need to get to the 25. Gonzalez flings it, completes to Apana. Did he get there? Still trying, and finally goes down. The initial man there was Ahmad Chapman. Then his buddies showed up. First appearance of the year for RCC. So they got him the first down. Nice effort there by Apana. We remember him as a quarterback, if you'll recall. Converted to a wide receiver under Coach Yansani's system. And Chapman trying to push him back, but the forward progress had him forward for the first completion of the day for Gonzalez, the sophomore from Olu. Spent a year at Portland State. They switched the offense, bounced back to his home school. Here's Daniel Mendoza, the Hemet High product, lunging and veering over the 30-yard line. Nixon in on the tackle for RCC. Also in on the tackle for RCC, Hancock a little bit slow to get up. And we were talking to Coach Cook about Miles Hancock out of Centennial, and you hate to see that. I think they may have got him down. I think something, an ankle or a knee may have wrenched underneath on that little scrum. But a 5-yard pickup either way for Daniel Mendoza. Interesting story about Mendoza. He's the third guy on the depth chart. There was a possibility he was either going to be a backup or a redshirt this year, but a couple of injuries early, and he's pressed into duty and trying to find his way.
Hopefully he is okay.
So still down on the field is Hancock. I know his family, has seen his family in the stands, and we hopefully, obviously, nothing too serious. He is sitting up.
Yeah, they had jerseys on, didn't they? Said Hancock on the back.
Casey Mazzata in his 17th year, the head coach of Mount San Jacinto, and they've really built something over there. He's been there 17 years, but remember, this is only their third year in the National Conference. They were in the American Conference for many years. They got the new facility over there, and kind of the whole campus kind of moved over to the Menifee area. And I was talking to some of their staff before the game as we see Hancock being helped off. He'll go to the tent to undergo treatment.
Hey, they had pizza ovens there last year, Gazal. Pizza ovens. We were able to call the game. And that's the only thing I could think of. I was like, man, what a beautiful stadium. But they had outdoor pizza ovens, and they were serving adult beverages at a JC football game. It was great.
That's Kretz in motion. Flags fly. Maybe a false start called on Mount San Jacinto. So breaking down their offense a little bit, Jeff, last 2 weeks have been very good. 515 yards against Fullerton, 401 yards against Moorpark, 330 through the air, and 490 through the air against Fullerton last week. And when I was talking to Casey Mazzotti, he was saying, new quarterback, offensive line, just trying to figure out their rhythm. They did play, they played Mount Sac in the opener, which is never easy. They had to go on the road to Citrus as well. So they were trying to find their footing, and the big win last week against Fullerton, offensively, they really did find it. 2nd and 10, ball on the 26. Gonzalez to throw. Over the middle, down the field. He's got Apana, but he can't hold on to it. Incomplete. Coverage on the play. Tamiko Jackson for RCC. Jackson, we were talking with James Cook before the game. They like his speed, and he's going to be on the slot guy on this game, Jeff.
And Jackson went foot to foot with him and able to get that hand in at the last second as we look on the replay here.
Jackson from Ohio, Cincinnati, LaSalle High School. Spent last year at Garden City in Kansas. Another look at it. He got help underneath as well. So good, good team play. Raymond Valencia was also there for the Tigers. 3rd and 26. Apana in motion. Trips to the wide side of the field. Gonzalez loads up, and it's incomplete. Dante Sams can't hold on to it. Making the hit for RCC, Blair Silva Viella.
And you watch, they're good throws, very able to be able to catch, but the big hits right at contact here. Watch this, another 2 plays in a row where they got big hits right as they're about to catch. Great defense there.
Interesting sequence, setting it up with the run and then twice to the middle of the field. Gonzalez definitely has an arm. Won a CIF Division II championship at Orange Lutheran a couple years ago before spending last year at Portland State. Punting it away, Jared Kaczynski, the freshman from the Pacific Northwest. And caught by Bond at the 39-yard line. So a 35-yard kick, no return. Good field position for RCC coming up. Here's the leading passer in the state, Brady Jones, stepping onto the field for RCC. 12 touchdowns for him to go with 1,642 yards. The Tigers, Jeff, first in total offense in terms of yards per game, first in passing yards per game, second in rush yards per game, and first in points per game. 50.5, 50 burger. Even you never got a 50 burger.
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, you did? I thought you said 43 was your career high. Jones looking for Hammond, incomplete. Sorry, Jeff, on the coverage.
Hey, 51 against Vanguard, my friend.
Okay, so we're talking about, so I think you were saying high school then. On the coverage was Isaac Brown. And this is the defense that throttled Fullerton last week, held them to 156 yards, and forced 3 takeaways. Their front 4, they're going to play 8 guys, kind of a rotation. Remember, Casey Mazzotta was the defensive coordinator for 5 years at Fullerton College. That's kind of their bailiwick. He's got 7-8 guys down in front. Here's the play action. Jones has time. Now he doesn't. Jones going to tuck it under and slide to the 45-yard line. Closest defender to him was Jonas Sellers-Reeder. He's a Rancho Verde guy.
And we saw Brady really run the football well last week. He was on fire.
99.
99. They all worry about those little slot receivers and wide receivers, and he's wide open. Down the
quick hit to Willerford over the middle, and coming up and filling, that's Nathan Frankfather. Be close to a first down, but a good reaction. Oh, they're going to move it up, so he did get the first down. Good hit by Frankfather, the completion to Willerford. Willerford out of Aquinas gets the first down. Another look at it here. Yeah, got the foot right on the 49. Jones going to load it up. Looking for Hammond. Incomplete. Greg Jackson on the coverage. Jackson, the sophomore out of the city of New Orleans. Your family was in New Orleans over the summer, was it not?
Yes, we were. And Jackson really keeping the the offensive player right in front of him. Great defensive effort. They're going one-on-one here, it looks like, on the outside.
2nd and 10. Here's the give to the bruiser. Here's Divine Pearson leaning forward. Pearson pierces up to the 44-yard line. 5 yards to bring up 3rd and manageable. Jonas Sellers-Reeder making the tackle. He's a great sideline-to-sideline guy. He plays inside, but he can play outside as well, Jeff. Looks like man coverage on the outside here for Casey Mazzotta on 3rd. They'll call it 3. Movement up front. Let's sort it out. False start. So ball will go back to midfield, make it a 3rd and 8. Both these teams have struggled with penalties over the first couple weeks. I addressed it with Tom Kraft when I talked to him. And he said, he's like, there are a couple things to look at there. He's like, obviously, I don't like mental mistake penalties, but a lot of those are because we're aggressive. A lot of it is because we're still trying to kind of figure out some of the officiating. Third down. Jones looking downfield. I think somebody got a piece of his arm as he threw it. Still got a pretty good throw off. It was just into coverage and fourth down.
That'll bring up a 4th and 9 for the Tigers.
Yeah, let's see if Brady did get hit here. I know he was rushed out of the pocket.
I think he just got it off before Brown could assault the arm. So this is what we talked about. The battle in the trenches is going to be key. And last week, Mount Santa Cena was able to win the battle on the offensive side against Fullerton. And you know how good Fullerton's defensive line is, Jeff.
Oh, they've been, stellar. That's one thing they do recruit every single year.
Samoski with the kick, waving for the fair catch at the 16, was correct. It's a 34-yard kick, no return, and 1st and 10 from the 16 for Mount Santa Cena. So both defenses hold serve on the first sequence. The number 3 team in the state against the number 16 team, the Eagles of Mount Santa Cena. Wonderful atmosphere here this afternoon at Wheelock. College football Saturday in the city of Riverside. Big sports weekend this weekend, Jeff.
Huge, and it's only 100 degrees in October, which makes it's a little strange.
They have water on the sideline, Jeff. I'm kidding.
I don't have enough.
I'm kidding, of course.
I don't have enough water.
Make sure you hydrate. 1st and 10, Mount Santa Cena. Play action. Gonzalez going to launch it deep, and it's going to be intercepted, incomplete.
It's incomplete.
Boy, they like the middle of the field.
Emilio Valencia, the intended receiver. Ahmad Chapman rotating over to make the play. I thought he had it. I guess he couldn't hold it on the way down. And look at the replay.
On their own 16-yard line.
Goes to the ball. Nice coverage. Valencia behind him, just a long incompletion. 2nd down. They had good success in the first sequence running the football in this part of the field. Here's the setup, the screen, and incomplete. Looking for Jamarcus Clemens. Clemens also out of Hemet. He's a Tockwitz High School product, and we mentioned a couple of injuries. They lost Makai Skinner. He was their starting running back out of Elsinore. And so both Daniel Mendoza and Jamarcus Clemens, who are rivals in high school at Hemet, Tockwitz and Hemet High respectively, pressed into duty for offensive coordinator Sekou Yansani. 3rd and 10.
There's a penalty flag on the play.
That's going to go against San Jacinto. They're going to get pushed back even further.
So a 5-yard penalty on Mount Santa Cena.
False start against the
Takes it back to the 11. So Yang split out to the near side. In the near slot, Koa Apana.
This will be a big stop for RCC if they can.
Dancing is Gonzalez. Again, look in the middle of the field, and nice play defensively, knocking it down, Marcellus Linton. Intended receiver was Dante Sams. And the secondary, James Cook playing that man coverage, working out okay.
Yeah, I mean, he just got his hand right in the passing lane there. An old basketball term, but look at this. He gets that opposite hand out, the right hand, just to knock it down. Great play. Like I said, that was a big, big defensive stop as RCC is going to get the ball in some pretty good territory.
Now listen, Gonzalez likes to fling it. He threw 53 passes last week. So he's just 1 for 6 right now, but he's willing to fling it. A volume shooter, as they say. Bond from the 47. and he'll go down at the 45-yard line. The initial tackle on the play coming out was Andre Tyler, and then it gets cleaned up by Max Hunter.
I just saw one of the biggest men I've ever seen play football. Number 66. I just looked at his size. He's 6'10", 388 pounds. Played at Rancho Christian last year.
And their left tackle, Craig Jackson, converted basketball player, is 6'7". So 3-yard return to the 44 for Bond.
That's huge.
The kick was 36 yards. Here comes the pressure. Jones looking down the field. He's got a man, but a little bit too far of a lead. And to be fair, he had to get rid of that. That was Dominique Cox down the field for RCC. Coverage on the play for Mount San Jacinto coming from Achilles Cosio.
And San Jacinto really kind of getting in Brady Jones' space.
I mean, that's the goal for both teams. If you can't get pressure on Jones or on Gonzalez, it's going to be a long afternoon if you're a defensive coordinator. Pearson in the backfield. He'll shift. It was supposed to be a handoff broken play, and Jones will unbreak it. Here's Brady Jones. He's going to go all the way to the house. Mr. Jones and me strolling down the football field, and a touchdown for the Tigers. 44-yard run for Brady Jones.
That was a broken play. He said, I turn to the right, you go to the left. I have nothing. I'm going to go to the right and take it all the way.
No panic in Jones, and it's interesting. The play, Jeff, broke down for the offense, but it also kind of broke down a little bit for the defense. Somebody lost contain, and Jones took advantage. The PAT up and good from Luis Marin, and it's 7-0 RCC. Yeah, he swum right past DJ Bryant. Bryant supposed to fill that area, or maybe he was covering for somebody who was supposed to fill the area. Either way, once Jones beat him.
Jones is deceptively fast.
I don't think it's deceptive. I think once he gets up to speed, he knows he doesn't have to be that fast. He just has to be as fast as the guy chasing him.
But all I know, you watch him, and the eyeball test, you watch, he goes, man, he's running upright, and he's almost like straight-legged, but, man, he can run. Fun to watch him.
So we're expecting, it still could happen. It's very early, 9:17 to play in the first quarter. We're expecting a battle of quarterbacks. Right now, between Gonzalez and Jones, they're 2 for 11 for 9 yards. Jones, though, with 2 runs for 49 yards and a touchdown. Kevin Kraft may break out the wishbone next time in the field. Padilla kicks it away. Apana backing up, and we'll just let it bounce into the end zone. Touchback coming out. And we talked about it a little earlier. A couple things at play here. So the Eagles moved up from the American Conference a couple of years ago into the National, so they're ready to challenge. And the league that the Tigers play in, which is the National Southern, somebody from that league is going to go to the state playoffs. And it's an automatic berth if you win the league. And that's something that Mount San Jacinto knows. They were in 2 championship games when they were in the American Conference, and now they'd like to move it up in the bigger league. And remember something, they started last year 0-4. So they've won 7 of their last 10 games, trying to get their feet wet at the new level here. And Casey Mazzata played at Cerritos College, coached at Fullerton. He knows a thing or two about winning at this level. 1st and 10, line is the 25. Apana into the far slot. Gonzalez rolling, throwing, completing to Apana at about the 40-yard line. So Koa Apana gets bumped out of bounds there by Blair Silva Viella. 16-yard pickup and a first down.
Apana comes all the way across the field, slipping inside of the secondary.
Remember, converted quarterback. He was a high school quarterback converted to receiver and is having a pretty good year in Coach Ginsani's offense. Here's the give up the middle. This is Jamarcus Clemens, and Clemens gets twisted back. Got a couple on the play. Stepping up in the middle of it, Big Zeus Jesus Venegas and Taven Anderson getting up from the bottom of the pile, and he could be a player. You know, we talk a lot about Isaiah Boger, and deservedly so. I was talking to Tom Kraft about Jesus Venegas, modern-day kid, and he goes, hey, he fell into our lap. You know, he's a little bit of a tweener size-wise, very strong, great motor, feels he'll be one of the top D linemen when it's all said and done. 2nd and 8, trips to the far side. Gonzalez throwing it that way. Into coverage. Yang gets up. Did he stay in bounds? And he did. Completion to Jackson Wang. Goes up and gets it down to the 26-yard line.
Just a perfect throw and great eye contact with the receiver. I mean, he knew exactly where that ball was. Watch this.
Just going up and getting it in double coverage. Got the foot down. 31-yard completion. 1st and 10 from the 26. The give to Mendoza, and I believe Boger got him from around the back, the do-si-do by Isaiah Boger. How many times have we seen him do that, Jeff?
My favorite player.
7-0 Tigers, but Mount San Jacinto drive started back at their 16. They're all the way to the 24 of RCC. Kretz to the top of the formation. Wang to the near side. Apana in the near slot. Back to throw. Gonzalez just lofts it up for Mendoza and won't come down with it. Pressure up the middle. Sagao bearing down on him. Makai Sagao, the freshman from Edison High in Huntington Beach. Just pure bull rush right up the middle. That's pure power. And they're setting up the screen and incomplete. 3rd down.
He just wanted to get rid of the football. He was being attacked.
Big offensive line for Mount San Jacinto. They've been pretty pivotal in terms of the success of the offense in the last 2 weeks. Gonzalez to throw. Underneath, it's complete to Sams. Sams stumbles down. He'll have the 1st down inside the 20. Want to say it was that Chapman. Tamiko Jackson slowed him up. There is a flag on the play.
I think they're going to get this as a hold. Yeah, right.
So here comes the pressure. And then nice job. Sam's out of Downey High, averaging about 19.5 yards. Very good run after catch and kind of stumbling, trying to maintain his balance. And he has the 1st down, but let's sort out the penalty.
No, offside.
Oh, so free play, and they'll take the 5-yard. I don't know why they wouldn't take the play. So I guess they must have blown it dead. That's all I can think of. So they called no play. Encroachment will make it a 3rd and 3. The ball will move inside the 20 to the 19. Unless maybe he went out of bounds, didn't get the 1st down.
I think that's what happened.
Okay. So 3rd down coming up. Tight set. They brought in LaKeon Fowler, who's a defensive end, as a tight end on the left side, and then the full house backfield with Sellers. Here's Mendoza grinding. He'll have the 1st down inside the 15. Valencia was over there for the tackle, among others. They brought in their 2 defensive linemen. Darius Holmes and Jonah Sellers-Reeder were brought in as fullbacks, and we already mentioned LaKeon Fowler as the tight end. So they bought that jumbo package to get that 3 yards, 1st down to the 15.
And if they can get this short yardage and continue to throw the football, they're in good shape. But how long will that luck last?
Emilio Valencia split out to the near side, near slot. Christian Kretz, they'll give to Mendoza running left, and he runs right into a bear hug of Isaiah Boger. So maybe back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down.
Not too sure what he said.
So a loss of a yard on the play. Wang to the top of your screen. So split out to the far side. bunch formation. We'll get our first look at the tight end, Ali Bajabiamala. Dad played for the Packers. Throw to the outside, incomplete. Nice play defensively. I believe that was Linton that got over there. They were looking for Jackson Wang. Marcellus Linton also back there on the coverage was Blair Silva Viella, but I think it was Linton that made the play to bring up the third down.
That is twice Linton has got his hands on the football. He just went up and out-jumped everybody, got his hand on that one.
And we talked to James Cook before the game. He said, hey, not just the top guy. He said they had 4 or 5 really good receivers. And that he obviously was very complimentary of Logan Gonzalez. 3rd down and 10. Good time. Here comes the pressure. Gets away from the first one. Now he gets rid of it. Incomplete.
And they're not going to throw the flag there. I'm not too sure if there was a receiver anywhere nearby, but
David Lean thought he had him. Linebacker for RCC. Lean out of Tacoma, Washington. Came up and had a hand on Gonzalez, and now here comes the field goal team.
Here comes the flag.
This could be big in terms of the field goal.
Yeah, I think this is going to set it back. This is going to be intentional grounding.
So he signaled loss of down. So I'm guessing it's intentional grounding. They'll move the ball back to the 25-yard line. Moises Amiskita is the freshman from Hemet. He has kicked a 52-yarder, but he's missed his last 6. He's 2 for 8, and he's got great range. This one will be about a 42-yard field goal attempt. Swings the leg, got the distance, and no good, wide right. So the Tigers turn back the Eagles. They'll have the ball on the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for RCC. We're going to look at Brady Jones.
That was a great leg. It just wasn't too accurate, but man, had a lot of power there. Like I said, 52-yarder.
No, that was a 42-yarder. He hit a 52-yarder,
wow.
But that's his 7th miss in a row. When I was talking to Casey Mazzata, I said, hey, great range. He said his range is out to 55. He went to that Chris Saylor camp and was rated as one of the better kickers coming out of Southern California. Jones on 1st down finds Pearson. Bruiser goes down. Tackle made by our old buddy Chase Shackelford. Played at Martin Luther King. Covered some of his games over the years.
I remember that young man. Got a couple guys, familiar faces on this San Jacinto team.
Yeah, a few. 2nd down. Jones looking up top. He's got his man. To the end zone, the quick strike. Dominic Cox takes it 70 yards from Brady Jones. Touchdown, Tigers.
What was that song at Mr. Jones? Remember that?
Counting Crows.
Counting Crows.
Mr. Jones and me throwing touchdowns in Riverside. 70 yards from Jones to Cox. And all the offense on the shoulders of number 12. Marin swings the leg, and just like that, it's 14-0 RCC.
A lot of time left.
Yeah.
They're on pace for 50 again.
Well, and this, the Tigers come in averaging, and you got to look at Cox, and wow, Jones put it right in the breadbasket. Oh my! I mean, that was easily a 50-yard throw, 60-yard throw.
He was
caught it in stride at about the 20-yard line.
Remember the breadbasket? Remember in what was that game, Operation?
Oh yeah.
I could never get the breadbasket. I'd always touch the side.
And you get the buzz.
And the one with the funny bone. Remember, it was a rubber band. I'm going to invite you over. We're going to play some Operation.
I'll bring my old Perfection, too.
Perfection was a great.
Yeah. The pieces pop out before you put in the last, and that's perfection. All right, 5:03 to play first quarter, and Padilla going to kick it away pivotal drive coming up here as Sams will let it go out of the end zone for the touchback. And big win last week for Casey Mazzotta and his staff and his team against Fullerton. And they want to show, hey, we're contenders in this league. And they knocked off the Hornets. You knock off the Tigers, obviously, then everybody's got to take you seriously. And they've done a nice job building that program. They had to restart a little bit. Took over in 2007. By 2012, they won the league and then had some things happen. But as you mentioned, they got a great new facility over there. And I was talking to one of their assistant coaches. I didn't realize this. The Hemet campus, the Menifee campus is the satellite campus.
It is.
And some of the sports moved over right away, but football didn't move over until a couple years ago. 1st and 10 from the 25. Here's Apana in motion. Gonzalez underneath to Kretz. Jackson trying to bring him down, and he does, but he reaches the 40-yard line, 15-yard pickup and a first down. So it looks like James Cook is willing to concede the underneath stuff, but they're going to really press on the outside, particularly the first couple of shots they took, meaning the Eagles took down the middle. They're going to take that away.
Yeah, why not, like you said, hit the early part of the secondary.
From the 40, it's 1st and 10, Mount San Jacinto. Gonzalez, the delayed handoff to Mendoza, and Do-si-do, and down he goes. Maybe a yard. Oh, this would be a loss on the play, and that's the big fella. That's Jesus Venegas.
Well, Zeus had the hands of a Greek god.
Remember Sir Laurence Olivier as Zeus in the original Clash of the Titans.
The best one.
Release the Kraken indeed. 2-yard loss for Mendoza.
Calibos.
Back to throw. Gonzalez looking to the near side. Oh, there you go. Intended for Apana. How about Jawan Nixon covering wide receivers now? Nixon's the one, incomplete.
You don't give him any more confidence. He is so good on defense. Watch this. I mean, he is step for step.
I mean, he was always that kind of outside rusher, but he's really developed into an all-around linebacker. That's why the Sooners are sniffing around him. Jasavion Duffy Cooper split out to the near side. 3rd down, right down the middle. It's complete to Apana underneath, and they'll knock him down at the 39-yard line. First man in on the hit. Back, Sepeti Maiava. Sepeti Maiava had been injured. He'd missed the first 4 games with a broken hand. His first action today, and it's 4th down on the defense for James Cook. Really turning that heat up, Jeff.
I'll tell you what, anybody who's coming out, I know all the coaches are out watching players now. So the recruiting period has started. If you are a coach, a 4-year coach, I'm sure you need to be here at RCC. Oh, a rough punt there.
Kuczynski kind of short kick, but it takes a nice bounce for Mount San Jacinto. And here comes the flag. It'll go down to the 37-yard line. So officially be a 24-yard kick, no return. We'll sort out the penalty. Good field position coming up for the Tigers.
We're going to add 15 to this.
Our white hat.
I think you might have been selling a tiny bit of it, but yeah. He looked like a pro soccer player taking that shot.
So that's going to move it all the way over into Mount San Jacinto territory.
Watch this. Let's see if we can get it. See if it's a true shot. Oh, that's kind of a hockey.
Hey, no,
that's a soccer shot. You say we have to. See, he got up quick.
Where's Billy? Is Billy Paltz around here somewhere?
The Whopper.
I love being able to make old man basketball references with you, Jeffrey. From the 47 of Mount San Jacinto.
Anytime you can say Billy Balls.
Yeah.
Or Gig Sims.
But you remember the great song, we talked about the Counting Crows, Mrs. Jones. There's the old school Mrs. Jones by Billy Paul. Not to be confused with Billy Pauls. Yeah. Or Bill Paltz. 1st and 10 from the 47. Throwing, looking down the field. It's complete. And that's a touchdown to Owens. This is what it sounds like when Tigers score. The kid from Minnetonka reels in the 48-yard touchdown pass.
Bathing in the waters.
It's interesting. We talked about this last week. against Palomar, they saw something in the tape against Canyons. You can go over top. I don't think Fullerton ever tried to go over top of this defense because they were getting pressure on the quarterback. And another long touchdown. 3 long plays, all over 40 yards for the 3 RCC touchdowns, and it's 21-0.
You know, I'm going to say it sounds silly, but it's as simple as this. Tom Kraft is saying, I'm going to put my athlete versus your athlete, and if you're going to play me man-to-man, I'm going to take my athlete every single time.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So I was talking with Tom Kraft, and he told me this before the year. So Kevin Kraft is calling the plays now. So he's turned play calling duties over to Kevin Kraft. Now, obviously, Coach Kraft is involved heavily in the offense. You know what Tom Kraft said to me? I hope he's okay with me saying this. He said, Kevin is better than I am. Kevin's a better play caller than I am. That's what Tom Kraft. Now, part of that is being a proud dad. But, you know, when we talk football, Tom Kraft is all business. That's not something he is saying to blow smoke, as the kids say.
No. Kevin Kraft. He was a heck of a player himself.
The Bruin.
I had a chance to say hello to him before the game.
Here's the kickoff, and Sams will bring it back from the 2. Here's Sams weaving up to the 15, trying to find some space in the middle of the field, and he's got some room. Can Samoski bring him down? And Samoski will slow him up enough to where other people will bring him down.
Samoski!
So 63 yards return, actually call it 61 yards to the 37 of RCC. Talon Samoski, the last line of defense, makes the play. I know you love it when kickers make tackles, Jeff.
I got scared for him. I said, oh no! Samoski! Look at this. Let's see if we can see the replay.
Big special teams play by Mount San Jacinto. This game was teetering on the parapet there. And a nice special teams play. Dante Sams, the freshman out of Downey.
He says, no! I'm going to hold you.
Grab hold, hang on, wait for help. Now, he dragged about 10 more yards out of it. 1st and 10, the 37. Let's see if they take a shot. Instead, they'll give to Mendoza. Bogar stretches him out, and then coming over and making the hit is David Lean.
David Lean coming out after that tackle like he looked like he was doing the haka.
From Tacoma, Washington, or as maybe if it's doing the haka, then it's Lene probably.
Look at this. Watch. Let's see. Look. He comes out. Watch this.
2-yard loss on the play. You know, Howard Cosell used to call Tacoma Tacoma. So until I was about 15, 16, I thought it was Tacoma because that's how Howard Cosell pronounced it. 2nd and 12.
I've been to Tacoma a few times. It's always cold and dreary.
Valencia split out to the top of the screen for Mount San Jacinto. Trips to the near side. He'll throw and nearly intercepted. He was looking for Mateo Lican, who's a Vista Murrieta guy. Incomplete.
Hey, you've been up there in that Washington area. Going up.
I've been to Seattle. I've been to Pullman. Oh wow. So penalty.
Yeah, but you drive. That drive. There's wheat fields.
Oh, the Palouse, yeah.
There are wheat fields as far as the eye can see. It looks like something out of Star Wars. And when it's snowing, it's really eerie.
So 2nd and 7 coming up after the penalty on RCC.
Man, people throwing stuff up in the bleachers. We never get anything free up here.
Weng split out to the far side. On the far slot is Koa Apana. Mendoza, the setback. Emilio Valencia to the near side. In the near slot is Lican. I'm sorry, in the near slot is Kretz. I apologize. 2nd and 7. Gonzalez back to throw. Looking underneath, incomplete.
Oh.
Chapman with the defense, and a flag comes in from behind. Might he have been there a little early defending Weng?
Yeah, that was definitely what happened as he got his arm around his waist. Oh, it goes against San Jacinto. I thought it was got there a little early.
So it's interesting. Instead of making it 3rd down, the Tigers will mark them back 10 yards. Ball goes back to the 44. Oh, that's right, because it's holding and spot foul. So 1st down is just inside the 20, call it the 27. So it's 3rd down and 17. Koa Apana in motion. Gonzalez underneath, drops it off to Mendoza, who drops it. Nixon was the first man there, and why did he get rid of it early? Because Isaiah Boger was there, as our friend Pete Arbogast says, saying, how do you do?
Say hello, nice to meet you. Hey, our boy Pep Fernandez is down there somewhere. I wonder how he's living. It's hot down there. I worry about my little buddy.
Gilligan and the skipper of the OC Sport of the I was going to say Orange County Inland Empire Sports Scene, Pep Fernandez.
Look at him; he's brushing it off like heat is nothing to him.
He's gotten over that ACA score, I guess. 4th down, and they're leaving the offense on the field. Oh no, it's still 3rd. That's why it's 3rd down. Looking to the outside and caught by Wang. Coming over and making the hit for RCC is Mayava. Let's see what the penalty is.
There's pass interference.
Now, here's the difference in college football. It's not an automatic first down.
No.
So it's just going to be the yardage. It'll be a 3rd and 6. Another look at it. Gonzalez throws a really good ball. Yeah, he didn't have it, but there was the contact. They'll get Chapman on the contact. And I love the way both Chapmans, Assad and Ahmad, how aggressive they are, and I'm sure James Cook does too. And that was something Tom Croft told me about, because we were talking about the penalties. Oh, so it was spot foul, so he's going to give him a first down. So 1st and 10 from the 35, fresh set for Mount San Jacinto. Ticking down to the last minute here in the first quarter. A little bit of a surprise. The Tigers up 21-0, and they've all been big play. 2 quick strike plays, and then a scramble by Brady Jones for 44 yards after a broken play and took him into the end zone. So clock is stopped with 1:09 to play. Officials talking about something. And teams will get a break, unless this is like a water break for the Heat. Now remember, the officials have discretion now to kind of slow the game down. If the heat gets too much, they can send the teams back to the sideline for a heat delay, believe it or not.
Well, I think I need a heat delay up here.
Plenty of water up here, staying hydrated. Thanks for joining us. Award-winning Riverside TV. You know, Star Awards, live sports programming, the winning entry last year was RCC football against Fullerton College.
And you know what the second was?
High school football.
You know what the third one was?
High school playoff football.
All done by?
Riverside TV. The great Scott Brocious and his crew.
And you know what Pep got?
Second place.
Second place.
Valencia split out to the far side. Kretz in the far slots. 1st and 10, line is the 35. Play action. Gonzalez going to look for it. Down the field, and it's intercepted. Tamiko Jackson picks it off. Great coverage. He was locked up with Kretz. Jackson out of Ohio, paying tribute to the Ohio State University with that pick. I guess he's from Cincinnati. It's a couple hours outside of Columbus, but you get what I mean.
Yes, of course.
University of Cincinnati football has been pretty good in the last few years. And they talk about textbook technique. You want to use your hips to establish the position. There was no way Kretz could have caught that ball without climbing over his back.
He looked like he was going to run home with football.
Ohio's a long way. Speaking of Cincinnati, we lost the hit king this week. Peter Edward Rose passed away.
Oh, the hit king. Yes, that guy.
1st and 10. RCC is a good baseball school. Here's the give. This is Pearson, the bruiser. Riding up to about the 18-yard line. 6-yard pickup for Divine Pearson. And they're going to go a little tempo here.
And why not? They've scored 3 touchdowns going this way.
Yeah, drive started at their 12. Motioning out of the backfield is Willerford. Jones looking, middle of the field. That's Jackson Owens. And Owens, the horse collar. And he's getting in the face, and I don't blame him. DJ Bryant out of Tockwitz kind of brought him down inside the shoulder pad. That's a horse collar. The gain to the 49. It'll be a 31-yard pickup, and they're going to tack on 15.
No, you know what I think happened, and this I could be wrong, is they're going to call a horse collar here.
Yeah.
But the young man says something back, and they threw a second flag.
Oh.
So I think this is going to be offsetting. I think it's going to be a first down.
They always talk, keep your cool. They never, well, I guess in that case they did throw the flag on the instigator.
And I did see Coach Kraft giving a earful.
You got to keep your cool. I understand. Listen, I understand, man. I mean, that's your livelihood, right? I mean, you bend your back, you could pop a quad or, pop a hamstring.
Yeah, that was a very dangerous play. But let's see if I'm correct. Normally, I'm not. There's the horse collar.
Personal foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct against RCC.
I called it right.
So it'll just be a first and 10. So the penalty wiped away. Well, they're offset.
Yeah.
So the yardage offset.
So I think that's why Coach Kraft was so upset. If you don't say anything, you're 15 yards ahead.
Although, you know what? They got them right where they want them. They got a 44, a 43, and a 70 yards. So this side of the field, or this part of the field, isn't very kind to RCC. Ticking down to the end of the first quarter, 14 seconds left. Out of the backfield, Demaria Thomas is going to get up to the 40 and a first down inside the 40. Ball to the 39-yard line.
And another flag. Let's see. Yes, another one.
Thomas, a freshman from Silverado High School. Another flag comes in, and this is tough. You're Mount San Jacinto. You just had really a signature win for your program last week against Fullerton, and you come out to play the RCC, and game getting away from you a little bit in the first quarter. And they'll mark off a personal foul on Mount San Jacinto inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. So a 15-yard mark-off against the Eagles. And, I mean, this Tiger offense, Jeff, just kind of rolling. Incomplete. Devin Turner juggled it. The hit coming up, making the play, is Tyson Roberts. Roberts, a freshman from Murrieta Valley. Second down coming up. Gets an explanation from one of the officials. Another look at the play. I think he's a little bit behind Turner. Yeah, a little bit behind him. And then once he didn't catch it cleanly, kind of juggling it, and there comes Roberts to make the play. Second down. Here's the give. Divine Pearson turns up between the tackles, breaks one tackle, finally brought down by Frank Father inside the 14. That'll be close to a first down, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. 21-0. Tigers, a little bit of a surprise at the end of the first quarter. We'll throw it down to the great Pep Fernandez.
Hey, Gazal and Jeff, defensively speaking, the chatter here on the RCC sideline was the size advantage that the Tigers have with their secondary compared to the MSJC receivers. We just saw a big interception towards the end of the first quarter. Offensively, I caught up with Brady Jones, the quarterback for the Tigers, and they opened up the scoring with that great touchdown run. I said, Brady, that was a broken play, wasn't it? And I know you guys were talking about it as well. And he said, dude, totally. I cannot lie. That was completely a broken play, but it opened up the scoring, and add those with the two beautiful touchdown passes. Guys, 21-0. Pretty good for the Tigers camp.
21-0. A lot of football left. 45 minutes of football left, so you don't want to get ahead of yourself. But I will say this. The great Mike Martinez on the stats today. 75 total yards in the first half for Mount San Jacinto. The last 2 weeks, they've had 515 and 401 yards. The Tigers in the first half, Jeff, 242 yards. Keep in mind, last week, this defense held Fullerton to 156.
Well, as Pep Fernandez would say, dude. Wow.
The great Pep Fernandez.
He said, dude.
170 yards through the air for Brady Jones, just picking up right where he left off. Top two quarterbacks in the state in terms of yardage. The Tigers holding Mount San Jacinto to 60 yards passing, including the interception. So the turnover turned into a touchdown by RCC, turned into a red zone chance. Coming into play today, Jeff, RCC was a perfect 19 for 19 in the red zone. 17 of 19 went for touchdowns.
Wow.
This one will start at the 14-yard line, 2nd and 1. And you got to give credit to the big boys up front. We'll name them after this play. Marquise Monroe. Monroe slashing to the outside. Monroe to the pylon. Touchdown, Marquise Monroe. RCC in control of this one. 27-0, 14-yard run by Marquise Monroe.
Just 5 seconds into the second quarter. We're going to be here till 9:30 tonight, guys.
So the Tigers now 20 for 20 in red zone chance. That's as good as you can be. They're 18 of 20 in terms of touchdowns in the red zone. Kevin Kraft, what a master. He may be the Sith Lord, Jeff.
He could be.
The power of the dark side. So a PAT missed. And we'll see if that comes back to haunt the Tigers. Here's the big play in the middle of the field of Jackson Owens and the horse collar tackle, which later was negated because of the extracurricular activity. And then Pearson putting his head down right at the end of the first quarter. And then Marquise Monroe comes in to spell Pearson and says, you know what, let me just take this the rest of the way.
Can't catch him. Can't touch him. He was...
Got to give props to the big boys up front. Trinidad Lewis at left tackle, David Trujillo at left guard, and Tom Kraft was telling me that's a big part of why we're doing so well. The left part of that left side of that offensive line. Cap Hacia in the middle, the sophomore out of Vista del Lago, Douglas Taloma, and Simeon Mayava on the right side. They were the starters last year out of Centennial and Santa Margarita, respectively. The big boys up front just doing the job, and that was going to be the key battle. You notice the defensive line for Mount San Jacinto, they rotate about 8 guys in there, and they're all big. What do you want to say, Jeff?
I was going to say they need to rotate more guys in, and we have Pep Fernandez on the sideline.
Okay, what do you got, Pep?
Hey, guys, speaking of rotating guys in, you mentioned Coach Kevin Kraft, a wizard on offense. He said before the game he wants to get everybody in this game, especially the running back. So we might see everybody who plays the running back position in this game at some point. And you're talking about the offensive line as well. You know a quarterback appreciates the O-line when they give him the best seat on the bench right in front of the cooling mist fan. So that's exactly what Brady Jones did for his offensive line. Guys, back to you.
Dante Sams from the 2. He had a good return out last time, breaks free here and cuts back inside. He's to midfield and then finally stumbled down. Who got him? Somebody tripped him up. Craig Lowe, the tight end from Marietta Valley, got enough of a piece as Sams. That's his second dangerous return. They'll start in Tigers territory.
Where was Samoski?
Yeah, where's Samoski when you need him?
Where is he?
Cuts back inside. And then you see here and there, just enough.
I think Samoski just ran off the field, said, I don't want to do that again.
It's like the 2 antelope in the wilderness when they see the tiger. How fast you need to be. I just need to be faster than you. All right, 1st and 10 from the 47. Can the Eagles muster any kind of resistance here? Looking to thrown to the outside. Kretz, the intended receiver. Incomplete on the coverage. Tamiko Jackson. Jackson's kind of been all over the field, Jeffrey.
He's like Michael Jackson.
Well, I was going to say like Jefferson from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. But
You do love Jefferson.
Tackle by Jefferson. 2nd and 10 coming up. This is a really good offense, and the defense for the Tigers is throttling them right now. Let's see what kind of adjustments they can make. Offensive coordinator for Mount San Jacinto, Siko Yansani, in his 13th year. Played his college football at Lehigh. He's a Maryland guy. 2nd and 10 from the 47. Here's Mendoza trying to find his way and runs right into the arms of Cyrus Savia Inaea out of Roy High School in Utah. So 3rd down coming up. The defense stepping up for Mount San Jacinto here. And it brings up a point. Part of the reason their defense has been so successful. Let's see what we got here. 3rd down. So Apana in the near slot. Valencia split to the near side. Kretz, a little bit of confusion. Bajabi Amala now resets on the left side. 3rd down and 9 coming up, and whistle comes in. Is that too much time?
Yeah, too much time.
So back it off 5 more, 3rd and long. You know, you and I and Pep had a chance. And James Cook is the defensive coordinator for many years. I think 13th year on the staff, 10th year as a coordinator. And just what a job he does, Jeff. I mean, obviously, Coach Kraft deserves the bulk of the credit, and Kevin Kraft with the offense this year. But consistently, year after year after year, Coach Cook's defense, they're always up to the challenge.
And he's just an unassuming guy, just the nicest guy to talk to, and tells you everything you ask him. Never shies away from a question.
Back to throw Gonzalez. Here comes the pressure. He's going to throw the ball complete to Kretz. Good job coming back to the football. Be very close to a 1st down. They mark him just short. Let's see what they do here on 4th down. Tamiko Jackson helped chase him out along with Taven Anderson.
Yeah, it's going to be looks like a hold. Oh, no. False start.
Kretz played for your buddy, Bert Esposito. He's a Temecula Valley guy.
Must be a good guy. Played for Bert.
Played his freshman year at Palm Springs High, then played his sophomore year for Bert Esposito. Played in that Division VI final. Was that that was his last year at Temecula Valley, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So 3rd and long. Apana and Emilio Valencia, Murrieta Valley product, go split out to the far side. Double tight end set. Logan Gonzalez thrown to the outside. Looking for Kretz, who reels it in.
Great
Was
catch.
he in bounds? He was. Short of the 1st down. Taven Anderson on the coverage.
Oh, he was extended all. I mean, that was just a great catch.
So the 42-yard line and 4th down coming up. 4th down. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. It's 4th and 5.
They're going for it, though.
So Sam's to the far side. In the far slot is Jamarcus Clements. Apana split out to the near side. Weng closest to the formation on the near side. And the quick kick. I guess it's not a quick kick because it's 4th down, but the punt by Gonzalez, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So 42-yard kick. It'll come out to the 20. 1st and 10 coming up for Brady Jones and the Tiger Express. Now, I did see Jared Doolittle throwing. I doubt they would take him out, meaning Jones out this early. It's still the 1st half. 27-0 RCC.
Will take over. It'll be 1st and 10. Tigers!
So 256 yards. Each of the last 2 weeks, the Tigers have amassed over 700 yards of offense. From the 20. Jones to throw, dancing. He's going to go for it all. He's throwing the ball down the field, and Cox has it knocked away. Stepping up and making the play defensively, Greg Jackson. So both number 4s with the surname of Jackson on the defense. Greg Jackson for Mount San Jacinto. Tamiko Jackson for RCC. Both playing real well. Kind of that nickel corner position. You're playing the slot guy. It's a tough position. It moves real fast, according to James Cook. He's an old defensive back himself.
Yeah, and this one, I know he would love to have this one back. This was a great throw.
Here's the give. Tucking back up inside is Andre Branch. He gets bent back. Coming up and making the hit, the big linebacker, Deshaun Brooks, the sophomore from Vista Murrieta. 4-yard pickup will make it 3rd and 6 for RCC.
Well, Vista Murrieta got beat pretty bad last night. Chaparral.
Chaparral. Jones to throw, complete, no, incomplete. Williford just couldn't reel it in. 4th down. And a good stand by Mount San Jacinto. Samoski on to punt.
Two drop balls here on that drive. Both very good passes.
Christian Kretz back to receive. I mentioned the sophomore out of Temecula Valley. 15 catches coming in, a touchdown catch last week. Last year had a big game against RCC. 5 receptions for 114 yards, including a touchdown. The kick by Samoski will bounce inside the 40 and go dead at the 40-yard line, and a flag comes in. Extracurricular activity after the play. 36-yard kick, no return. Let's sort out the flag. And again, I addressed when I talked to Tom Kraft this week, I addressed the penalties. The first 4 games, the Tigers had 53 penalties. I think 26 of those came in one game. And you say, combination of things. We're still trying to figure out the officiating in some areas, and it's a younger team, less experienced team, and we're aggressive. But he said, yeah, it needs to get fixed. So they'll mark off an extra 15 yards, and that'll take the ball into RCC territory. So 1st and 10 from the 45. And now, obviously, after some of the stuff that's happened earlier, Jeff, the officials are going to have a much more close eye on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was wrestling.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to get marked off against, I was incorrect. It's going to get marked off against Mount San Jacinto. So the ball goes back to the 24-yard line. So bottom right part of the screen.
And he goes after him after
lowers
he's
the
down.
helmet after he's down, yeah. So 1st and 10 for Mount San Jacinto. 90 total yards so far for Mount San Jacinto. Here's the give. Mendoza. And Boger just took it away. Touchdown, Boger. Leather larceny of the football variety. Boger, I'll have that, thank you very much, playing the role of the schoolyard bully. Touchdown, Tigers.
Yeah, my favorite player getting in and getting a touchdown.
You got to talk to him about that, Jeff. I mean, Isaiah Boger's a nice young man. We can't have him being a bully like that.
Yeah, I love it. He finally gets to score. Put Isaiah Boger at wide receiver.
Boger with the snatch and score. Just takes it away from the running back. A 20-yard return, Marin. This one goes through, and a defensive touchdown by the Tigers to make it 34-0. Wow.
Look at this. He says, I'm going to take it from you right now.
There's nothing you can do about it. And there was nobody in front of him and takes it right into the end zone for the touchdown. And so the offense having all the fun, and Boger's like, no. I'm going to have some fun there.
We have Pep on the sidelines. Let's go to Pep.
Hey, Gazal and Jeff, just right on cue. Pin Talamai, the defensive line coach for RCC, was just saying MSJC is tired. They're hot. Attack them now. Go in and attack. Very next play, we just saw what happened with Bogar taking it in for the score. So credit to Coach Talamai as well, inspiring his guys on the defensive line.
Here's Apana bringing the ball back. Apana on the kickoff return, still on his feet at the 25, then finally upended. He gets over the 30-yard line.
There's another flags coming in. In fact, I think every flag was thrown.
And getting a little bit testy here. 34-0. Still got a lot of football to play, Jeff. And I mean,
Here's another view.
So here's Mendoza, and Bogart just grabs him, and he gets some help. I think Peter Ayabi comes over as well, and that's a great combination. We were talking to James Cook about that before the game. Those two outside ends, Ayabi, who was a walk-on at Washington State before bouncing back. He's a Mission Hills kid down from San Diego, and then obviously we've talked a lot about Isaiah Boger. But he's an interesting story as the officials kind of sort this out. James Cook told us a little bit about Boger in terms of his ascension, his arrival at RCC.
Yeah, I mean, just the growth of that young man and the fortitude to say, hey, I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to get this squared away. No.
So there's an ejection.
Would they say 68?
So the ball will move up to the 45-yard line, and that's where Mount San Jacinto will start it. Well, I mean, you know, Isaiah Boger was a high school teammate of C.J. Stroud, and he came in I knew he'd taken a year off for academics, but I guess he told us there was kind of some mental health stuff, and he just really was mature enough to say, let me wind this down. It was during COVID, obviously, because they weren't playing, and he kind of settled in that year, then took the academic year, and then obviously the last 2 years, we've seen what he can do.
So who got tossed? Was it a RCC kid?
Yes, RCC player. It was marked off against RCC. I won't say. They said his number. I won't say his name until we find out officially. Martinez will tell us at halftime. Here's the give. Keeping it on the ground. This is Jamarcus Clemens, and he won't get much. That's the big guy in the middle, Gurlier Irvin, the sophomore from Baltimore, transfer from College of the Desert. Played at Dunbar High, played football at Dunbar High, which is a great basketball power in the Baltimore area. Clock continues to move, a loss of a yard. Sam split out to the near side, near slot Kretz. Wang to the far side. Now here comes Apana in motion. It'll be trips to the near side. Gonzalez over the middle, looking for Kretz. He got him. Anderson, Dosey does him down, but he gets the first down. So ball to the 44-yard line of RCC. Well, they've done a nice job, at least in the first half, have the Tigers on Jackson Wang. Wang just the one catch. He had a great catch for 31 yards. Last week against Fullerton, 7 catches, 188 yards, and 3 touchdowns. First down for the Eagles. Gonzalez under pressure, throwing over the middle, complete. The ball comes loose, incomplete. Anderson on the coverage against Christian Kretz.
Taven with a nice play over there.
And we've called his name a lot in the last couple of weeks. Anderson out of Beaumont, where he played for Jeff Steinberg last year. Had 25 career games at Beaumont, 127 tackles, 4.0 GPA in high school. Also was a letterman in track and basketball. 2-time letterman in track.
Oh, he was everybody's All-American.
Everybody's All-American.
Everybody's.
Frank DeFord and Dennis Quaid. 40-year-old Dennis Quaid playing a 20-year-old college player. 2nd and 10 from the 44. Gonzalez throwing it underneath to Apana at the 40. And Tamiko Jackson comes there, and then coming over to help out is Blair Sylvia Viella. Gain up to about the 43. That was the penalty after the return. 3rd down coming up. Gonzalez looking for Wang, one-on-one down the field, and here comes the flag. Michael George on the coverage, a kid out of Houston.
2 penalty flags against RCC. 1, they were offsides, and 2, pass interference.
So Gonzalez taking advantage of the free play, Aaron Rodgers style, to go to his favorite receiver, Jackson Wang. Not only do the two of them play together at Olu, which is pretty out there, but they grew up down the street from Mount San Jacinto. That's what Coach Casey Mazzotta was telling me. They're buds since they're young. Decided to go to Olu together, and then when things didn't work out for them after the first year at college, they decided to come back and play together. So they'll march it off. Ball will move to the 24-yard line of RCC. So 1st and 10, Mount San Jacinto. Trying to get on the board here. They trail 34-0. Moving in the backfield, Darius Johnson. So they have an extra man in there to pass protect. They'll give him the ball. Johnson will get taken down.
And that's the one thing that they have not been able to do is they can, I mean, that defense up front has been stellar for RCC.
Gurlier Irvin along with Peter Ayabi combined on the hit. And second down coming up. And yeah, they've struggled to run the ball all year. Coming in, they only averaged 37.5 yards per game rushing. The last 2 weeks, they've rushed for 24 and 68. Now, they're hurt the first game against Mount Sac, and that's a tough way to start your season. The Mounties held them to negative 23 yards rushing. Second and 11. Here's Apana in motion. Gonzalez trying to drop it off, and it's complete to Jackson. To the 20. The safety valve gets near a first down inside the 15. Flag comes in on the play. They're going to call roughing the passer.
Wow.
So the ball will go half the distance inside the 10. They're going to mark it to the 8-yard line. So first and goal coming up.
These two teams don't seem to like each other so much here in the first half.
Getting a little chippy. Already the 10th penalty on RCC. They've been penalized for nearly 100 yards. First and goal, line is the 8. Timeout, Tom Kraft. So the defense will call timeout and talk it over. James Cook and Tom Kraft. James Cook, the defensive coordinator. Tom Kraft, obviously the head coach, longtime head coach at RCC. Has coached 160 games for the Tigers, won 139 of them. But an 86% winning percentage. It's kind of like you at Norte Vista when you're coaching hoops.
Yeah, my last year.
Another look at the play. Sleeping out of the backfield as Darius Jackson makes the catch. And then they rough the passer afterwards.
It was a friendly shove.
I'm sorry, Darius Johnson played his high school ball in Honolulu. Moana Lua High School, sophomore running back. And we mentioned running back has kind of been a rough issue for Mount San Jacinto. A couple of injuries, and they're down to starting their third stringer. But that's why you have depth, next man up, right? That's the mantra. So 9 penalties totaling 84 yards for San Jacinto. I was incorrect. For RCC, 7 penalties totaling 69 yards. So both teams getting rung up for a lot of penalties. So first and goal from the 8. Eagles trying to get on the board here. They will get the ball to start the second half. I'm sorry, no, the Tigers will get the ball to start the second half. Tigers won the toss and deferred. Johnson up the middle, dropped immediately.
If this is where RCC doesn't want to give up the big play, give up 3 if you have to, but don't give up the big one.
Darren Scott down low. Raymond Valencia up high on the stop. A loss of a yard for Darius Johnson as the clock continues to move. Second and goal from the 9. Valencia in motion. Logan Gonzalez going to keep it and didn't fool anybody. Anderson was pinching in. He kind of forced the play to the inside, and they get Gonzalez maybe at the line of scrimmage. Nixon was in there, among others. Irvin also in there, making the play for RCC, and third down coming up. So third down and 10. Now, I'm going to ask you, Jeff. I think this is 4 down? This is 4 down territory, correct?
Of course.
Yeah. Wang to the near side. I'd watch him. Timeout on the field. with 6:16 to go. Ghazal Hassan with you along with Jeff Gorham. We got Pep Fernandez down on the sideline. Or do we?
He's over there. He's over there on the 15-yard line.
Oh, there he is. There he is. I see him.
Someone just offered Pep water.
Oh, that's nice.
And then he turned it down. You know why? Because he's a germaphobe.
He's a pickle juice guy, though, right?
Yeah, if you offered him a big glass of pickle juice, he'd drink it all. A big gulp full of pickle juice.
So intriguing. I thought this was going to be a pretty intriguing matchup. I mean, the last 2 weeks, Mount Sanasino had been pretty impressive, reaching that apex last week. And they beat Fullerton 35-28. But if you talk to the coaches, they felt they kind of left some points out there and allowed some points they probably shouldn't have. But every coach thinks that. The Tigers, though, in complete control right now. It's like a prison movie.
Do you think so? They're in control? I don't know. There's a lot of time left.
Tom Kraft would disagree with me. Wow, we played okay.
Plenty of time left to come back in this one.
No, there is a lot of time. Now, college football is different now. We've seen it. Here's Apana in motion. Clemens, the blitz protection, and they'll go to Apana. He's in one-on-one coverage and incomplete. On the coverage for RCC was Yeshua Yisrael out of El Paso, Texas, Chapin High School.
You ever been to El Paso?
I have. I've flown into El Paso a couple times.
I'm telling you, man, there's the best steakhouse in the world there.
So what's it called?
Cattleman's Steakhouse.
Is that a chain?
I know there's two of them in America. I don't know if that clarifies, but it's so fantastic. Tony Ontiveros took me there.
Next time I'm there. Oh, Tony Ontiveros.
We drove, took a long drive and ended up at the steakhouse, and it was more food than I could even eat. And I'm a large man.
That's impressive. 4th and 10. Here we go. And now Logan Gonzalez, a little bit of confusion with Clemens, and he'll call timeout. Will the Eagles of Mount Sanasino?
Yeah, I ordered one of those tomahawk steaks. You ever had a tomahawk steak?
I have not.
A tomahawk. How about you there, old Dennis Pope? You ever had a tomahawk steak? See, you're a man after meats. I love good meat.
But I mean, the tomahawk. It's just. I mean, I like a well-cooked, well-seasoned steak, and the tomahawk can sometimes be. It's always the subtlety that's better, right?
How do you order your steak?
I usually it's medium to medium,
okay.
medium.
To medium well?
No, the other way. Medium to medium rare.
Oh, look.
I like it a little bit closer to medium, but like kind of medium rare, closer to medium. We got to go. We'll all go. Dennis can come with us too. We'll go to Matu after the season.
Yeah,
Beverly Hills Steakhouse. Oh.
But we can't afford that. Are
sure
you
we
paying
can.
for it?
Yeah, on me.
On you? Hey.
On me.
Dennis Pope and I are going to get to go to Beverly Hills.
I remember the first time I went, I didn't realize. So, the portion, like they give you a portion, it's 87, but it's a portion for two. And it's 87 per portion, right? So I'm there with someone, and, the bill comes, and you can't act shocked at the bill. I'm like, 87, like, no problem, and then it's double for one meal, Apana in the near slot, rolling to the right side is Gonzalez. Off the back foot into the corner of the end zone, looking for the flag. They won't get it. Incomplete. That was Valencia on the coverage against Kretz. Ball over on downs to RCC. Best scoring opportunity of the game for Mount Sanasino, and James Cook defense stands tall.
That's disheartening.
I mean, at that point, you feel kind of like bullied.
You do?
I think so.
I feel bullied, and I'm just watching.
34-0 in favor of the Tigers, and this is a bit of a surprise, I'll be honest. I think both you and I thought this would be a bit of a Donnybrook.
Yeah, no, it's not a Donnybrook today.
So Jones out there, Andre Branch, the setback. Just give the ball to Branch right up the middle. He'll pound up to about the 13-yard line. Kevin Kraft signaling. Offensive coordinator play calling for RCC. So this is like Godfather Game of Thrones stuff here. We have a couple of coaching dynasties. The Mazzotta dynasty on the Mount Sanasino side. Of course, Frank Sr., who is Casey's dad, longtime coach at Cerritos College. They were a power back in the 90s and the 2000s. Still kind of are. Back to throw Jones, looking up top. Nearly intercepted. Frank Father, they were looking for Owens down the field, and Frank Father had the deep safety spot covered.
And it's bringing up a big third. Not a big third down. We don't say that anymore. Just a third down.
Yeah, third. Every third down is big. But speaking of third down, that was one of the big points of emphasis for Casey Mazzotta's defense. They actually hold opponents coming into the game today 25% on third down. Last week they held Fullerton to 2 of 13 on third down. So far today, Tigers 2 for 4. Hasn't mattered much. 70? They have touchdowns of 70, 44, and 43. So third down. Looking down the field. Looking for Cox. Juggles, and he can't come up with it. Incomplete. Good effort there. Achilles Cozio on the coverage. He's out of Menifee, your hometown. He's a Heritage High School freshman. So fourth down coming up, and here comes the punt team. Talon Samoski out of Riverside Poly.
The great tackler.
Yeah, made him tackle earlier today. How about that?
Yeah, it's kind of a tackle.
I don't know. Yeah, we have to look at the stats, see if he got the credit for the tackle.
What do you think when they watch in film later? And they watch this?
So there'll be some comments. I mean, he did. He slowed him down enough, though. If Samoski doesn't get there, he's probably in the end zone.
He almost looked like a backpack.
So 27-yard kick, no return as Kretz calls for the fair catch. And 1st and 10 from the 41.
42-yard line. That's where the ball will be placed.
And Mount Sanasino, so even though they didn't score, they're going to get some decent field position because the defense was able to hold off RCC. 5 minutes or so, a little more than 5 minutes left here in the first half. Thanks for joining us here on a Saturday afternoon. Big sports day today. We got college football. You got baseball playoffs. NHL season starting. You got kickball.
Didn't basketball start last night somewhere?
Exhibition. I mean, they don't even play in the regular season. Here's Johnson. Oh, how do you do? Viella. Silva Viella with the tackle. Maybe a 3-yard pickup on the play. You know, like you remember I used to work for Reggie Theus, right?
Yes.
He was head coach. He played, I think, 14 years in the NBA. I think there were like 3 or 4. Out of the 14, he played every game 10 out of the 14 years.
No load management?
2nd and 8. Now, he wasn't playing for great teams, but still. Kretz to the near side, Apana in the far slot. Gonzalez over the middle. Complete. That's Valencia with the catch. Emilio Valencia down inside the 20. It'll be a 25-yard pickup.
Somebody, it appears they've lost their head.
So the Eagles still hanging in there. Gonzalez, 11 of 25 now, about 124 yards. They marked it officially to the 17-yard line, 1st and 10. Johnson runs right into Boger. That doesn't end well. I mean, he's fine. He just didn't gain a lot of yards. That's all.
He wasn't beheaded like the last guy.
Well, he kept the football. So a yard gain on the play for Darius Johnson. And clock continues to move. 2nd down coming up for Mount Sanasino. Tigers on top, 34-0. So trips to the near side. Mitch Aubrey, a sophomore from Marietta Valley, will join the bunch formation on the near side. They'll send Clemens out of the backfield. Juggles it, and he can't come up with it.
Great play, though. They just weren't able to capitalize on it.
Sione Filahia was bearing down on him, and that might have been part of it. Incomplete. Yeah, well-designed play. So 3rd down and 9 as Logan Gonzalez looks back. 11 for 26 for 123 yards, and Wright and Clemens paused there, but just couldn't reel it in. Aubrey split to the far side. Riding out there in the far slot for San Jacinto, Jasavian Duffy Cooper. Koa Apana split to the near side. Mendoza back in there at running back. Here's the pressure, one-on-one. Chapman and Apana, and Koa Apana rolls it in. Touchdown, Eagles. So they put the 6 on the board. A dime from Gonzalez to Apana. 16-yard touchdown strike for Mount San Jacinto.
The line now for the point after touchdown attempt.
And Ahmad Chapman kind of got a little lost there on that. Oh, there's the
2-point conversion.
They go for the 2-point conversion.
So they go for 2. Catching the ball to record the 2-point conversion is Koa Kaleopa'a. He's a defensive end. The Mount San Jacinto is very creative in terms of using players on the both sides. They have a tight end named Bryce Ligon that plays both ways. But before we explain that, we'll throw it down to Pep Fernandez.
Hey guys, Eagles get their first touchdown of the game, but even if I could rewind just a little bit to the previous RCC offensive possession, the Tigers were frustrated, not that they didn't come away with some points on that drive, but they went 3 and out, and they were really hoping to maybe take this into halftime with this score, but instead 3 and out, and they were trying to give their defense a breather. Instead, the defense went right back out on the field, and it looked like maybe they were just a little gassed here at the end, and the Eagles took advantage of it to get that first score.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier. You know, Gonzalez is going to keep coming. I mean, he's 12 of 27. He threw 53 passes last week, and the kickoff into the end zone. But plenty of time for RCC, as we've seen. 3:12 to play, and there's some extracurricular activity. Here come flags and whistles. So it's been getting testy all afternoon, Jeffrey.
It's been testy since the opening snap.
So let's sort this all out. Let's see what the officials have to say. So the personal foul against RCC will be half the distance. And they'll move down to the 12 or 13. Yeah, 13-yard line, it looks like.
Ball spotted at the 10-yard line. That's where Riverside City College Tigers will take over. It'll be first and 10. Tigers!
So 8th penalty on RCC. They're playing tempo. Here's Cox, and he's loose.
Oh.
Stepped out of bounds.
Number 4.
Dominic Cox out of the backfield.
Stepped out of bounds.
And our buddy Adrian Mendoza on the field for Mount San Jacinto at linebacker, played at Arlington for Kevin Argamosa.
The best beard of anyone to ever play high school football.
They
He
said
had my favorite touchdown last year. Remember that against La Sierra? He was
97-yard pick six.
and he was pointing at the other team. It was great.
So he stepped out at the 20. It'll be a 2nd and 4. Here's the give. Divine Pearson finds a little bit of space. And the Bruiser is driving over the 30 to the 32-yard line. A 13-yard pickup and a first down. I was talking to Ahmad Noor yesterday. He's the wide receiver coach at Hillcrest, and he had been at Rancho Verde, and he said, hey, if you see Bruiser, say what up, because he was a Rancho Verde kid before he transferred to Chaparral. First down, Tigers. Pearson looking to find some space again. He won't this time. Tackle on the play made by Vincent Perryman. They played together in high school. Perryman also a Chaparral product, or as to say it correctly, Chaparral.
Chaparral.
No gain. 2nd down and 10.
At halftime, we're going to have Dennis Pope.
Why do you have that guy on?
Why do I have that? This could be the longest game in the history of the world.
What does Pope know? Why do we have him on here?
Hey, he lives in.
Why do we honor this man? Have we run out of human beings?
He lives in the Vatican. He's got to come out occasionally.
Sorry, Dennis. Dennis is sitting right. I don't want you to think he's sitting right here. My Don Rickles comes out, and here's Divine Pearson. And Shackelford brings him down up to the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 3. Of course, we love Dennis Pope. He's a columnist and
I don't
reporter.
Think I love him. I mean, but there's a
he covers. He's like us. He's a knock-around guy. Covers local sports. A little bit of football, a little bit of soccer, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Sounds like he's a warlock. throwing stuff into a witch's brew.
More of a necromancer than a warlock, I would say, but that's just me. I don't like to label people. 2 minute, what do they call it? The 2 minute timeout, right? We can't call it the 2 minute warning.
It's because of the naming rights?
Because Roger Goodell owns everything.
He doesn't own me.
Yet.
He could. Offer me enough money, $1.26.
You will only sell out if the opportunity presents itself. Or you will not sell out until the opportunity presents itself.
Oh, I sold out a long time ago, Gazal.
3rd and 3 coming up, and 34-8. We're a little jovial up here. We're kind of expecting this to be a little bit closer, but still, Jeff, a lot of football to be played.
I have a heat stroke. That's all it is. I'm not jovial for any other reason that it's hot.
I will say this, though. Let's looking at the numbers here. RCC now.
Let's look at them.
289 yards in the first half. But if I had told you, hey, Jeff, at half, with 2 minutes left in the half, Brady Jones will be 7 of 16 through the air, what would you have said the score would be?
They're losing?
Yeah, okay. Jones, 7 of 16. He does have 176 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also 49 yards on the ground. He's the leading rusher for RCC with a touchdown run of 44 yards. Logan Gonzalez for Mount San Jacinto, 12 of 27 for 139 yards through the air. But again, the running game for Mount San Jacinto having some struggles. Here's the give for RCC. Divine Pearson. He gets over the 40, be very close to the first down. Shackelford again with the tackle as he tried to get the edge.
Well, the dad in me is saying something right now that I probably shouldn't say. Brady Jones, I think you need to wear those knee pads. He's bare kneed.
All right, 4th and 1. And RCC's going to go for it.
Let's see if they could try to get him off sides here.
Omar Hammond kind of looking back to the sideline. They'll give it to Pearson. Didn't have it on the first effort and doesn't look like he's going to get it on the second effort. That's a big stop. Yeah, the way they marked it, ball over on downs to Mount San Jacinto. Huge stop for the Eagles. Wow. Brady Jones clapping his hands, and first down Mount San Jacinto. So going into the half, you got 1:49 left, good field position. You get a score here, can kind of get the momentum going to the other side. So here come the Eagles. You take a shot here?
Yes.
If you're Seiko Yansani, you got the personnel definitely. Weng to the near side. Let's watch him one-on-one with Marcellus Linton. He'll just chuck it. Complete to Kretz. Tamiko Jackson there to make the stop. 1 timeout left for Mount San Jacinto as the clock moves. Tigers have 2. Here comes Sams to the near side. Weng to the far side. Gonzalez. Flag comes in. Incomplete. Clock stops. Let's sort out the flag.
So, yeah, hold on San Jacinto.
Well, listen, if Isaiah Bogus there, you got to stop him somehow. Yeah, that was. I mean, I don't know if he held Boger, but the hold definitely on Boger's side. 2nd down coming up. Trips to the near side, so Dante Sams goes out up high. Emilio Valencia, Koa Apana, and Christian Kretz. Here comes Boger. Ball deflected. Somebody got a hand on it, 3rd down. Boger was bearing in on the left side. Somebody in the middle. That was either Irvin or maybe, is Venegas in there?
They've only put 3 up front.
No, it's a 3-man front, yeah. Another look. So you see Boger there. Oh, hit one of the linemen is what happened. Threw it into one of his own guys. That's the big left big left guard, Suipeli Tava. He's a 6'5" freshman out of Vista Murrieta. Also played at Temecula Valley. 3rd and 15. Gonzalez Looking to the near side, incomplete. A little bit of miscommunication there. Valencia was trying to make his way across. I think he went in when he was supposed to go out. And fourth down coming up with 1:07 to play. Here comes the punt team.
You know RCC is going to try to go score here.
No, minute's plenty of time for them. They got 2 timeouts left. Kaczynski, the freshman, he was from the Pacific Northwest, Snohomish in Washington. Spent last year, well, usually just looking to find a program. Last year's punter from Mount San Jacinto got to UNLV. They had an opening. He actually reached out to them. Ball bounces at the 20 and down at the 25-yard line. So a 30-yard kick, good bounce for Riverside, no return, and they'll have 56 seconds try to traverse 75 yards. 2 timeouts left for Kevin Kraft and the Tigers. Here comes Brady Jones.
There's father and son right there next to each other.
I was going to say, we got a family affair here, the Crafts and the Mazzotas. Not that Frank Sr. is not on Casey's staff, but it's a legacy of coaches. Coach Mazzota, the senior, has 2 sons who coach. Obviously, Casey is the head coach at Mount San Jacinto, and Frank Jr. for many years at La Habra High. And for Tom Kraft, obviously son Kevin now on his staff. Jones with the handoff up the middle. This is Andre Branch. Branch dancing to midfield. He breaks 1 tackle and goes into Mount San Jacinto territory. 27-yard pickup. Clock stops as the chains move.
And they're running the clock early here.
Well, I guess you start it once the ball's reset. Here's Branch again running to the right side. And he'll get stopped.
I'm on the timeout.
Brooks in on the stop for Mount San Jacinto. Deshaun Brooks, they like him a lot. They call him Coach Brooks, affectionately. That's the earlier run where Frank Father made the tackle. So a timeout called by RCC. 34 seconds to play here in the first half. We mentioned this, so the familial connections, and obviously not only Kevin Kraft on Tom Kraft's staff, but daughter Lacey, longtime softball coach at Palomar.
That's right.
So a couple of coaching legacies here. It's like Game of Thrones. I prefer The Godfather, obviously. But the kids today, they like Game of Thrones, I've understood.
They do.
And The House of Dragon.
I've never watched that one. I can't watch that. You can't watch that. I haven't watched that new Lord of the Rings show either.
Hey, listen, I found once I found out that Dream On was on Roku, that's going to kind of be my jam for a little bit.
It was a great show.
The great Martin Tupper and Eddie Charles. They have a friendship kind of like ours.
Is it like you and I?
People say we're like what's Larry and Hank from Larry Sanders.
Hey now.
Second down. Over the middle. Complete. First down. That's Jackson Owens up to the 34-yard line. Clock stops. Ball's reset. Jones signaling. And now he'll ground it. Or clock it. They call it clock it. Because grounding is a penalty. You can't say grounding anymore. 23 seconds to play. They still have a timeout left. Here's the throw over the middle. Jackson Owens. Little run after catch, knowing he had the first down. Tackle made by Greg Jackson for Mount San Jacinto. He's had a good afternoon today. From the 33, 1st and 10. Jones going to take a shot. Yes, he is. Down the field, and Cox makes the catch. On the coverage was Achilles Cozio. Down to the 7-yard line, a 26-yard pickup for RCC. 14 seconds left. They'll wind the clock, and he'll clock it. So 1 timeout left, so they can run a play. They can do a run if they want. They'll need to use the timeout to stop the clock for that one. Another nice, cool, calm, and collected. Here's Jones over the middle. That's the completion down to the 7-yard line. Call it the 6, so a 27-yard pickup. Second down after he clocks it. 1st and goal. Jones. is going to run it himself, and then down he'll go. Perryman, the first man there. They'll call timeout. That's the last timeout for RCC. Vincent Perryman, Johnny on the spot, spying the quarterback, and here comes the field goal team. No, not field goal team yet. Or is it? They've called timeout. Yeah, field goal team comes out. So Josh Hossman leads, the freshman out of Helix in La Mesa. Had a PAT against Palomar last week. And I remember when I talked to Coach before the season, Coach Kraft, he was excited about his kicking game.
He has like 5 kickers.
Yeah, he said I think we have 6. And he said, we could have a kickoff guy, we could have a PAT guy, we could have we could have 3 or 4 different, and a punter, obviously. So I think Samoski, up until last week, was doing kickoffs and punts. And Marine is doing PATs. Hossman was the punter one week and the kickoff guy the next week, and now they're bringing him out here to try about a 25-yard field goal. And he was a guy, again, soccer guy, who was talked into playing football in high school by a buddy of his. 25-yard field goal attempt. Here we go. Swings the leg, and it's no good.
Wow.
Pulls it wide left. So that's the end of the first half. The Tigers will get the ball to start the second half, but 34-8. And I kind of thought this was going to be a little more of a tussle, but Kevin Kraft's offense is rolling it up. 358 yards in the first half. They're on pace, for their third straight 700-yard game, Jeff.
Yeah, they are just. That first quarter was just a destruction at its finest.
And give Coach Cook credit. I mean, this is a team that the last 2 weeks has has amassed 515 and 401 yards. They had 154 yards in the first half. Most of that down the stretch. I believe. Do we have Pep?
We do.
Okay, let's throw it down to Pep Fernandez.
Hey, guys, despite the comfortable lead here for RCC, kind of limped into halftime here. And I'm going to clean up the language just a little bit. I'm going to edit and paraphrase. But basically on the RCC sideline, they were not happy with their effort. They said they need to toughen up. They said when they go back and watch the film on Monday, they are not going to be happy with what they see. So even though they've got this big lead in the pursuit of perfection, they still want to be better. And listen, we're all lethargic out here. It's hot. And I think at the end of that second quarter, it kind of caught up to them. Guys, back to you.
What do we say? I mean, that's just the way Tom Kraft does things.
Yeah, he likes to say colorful metaphors, like Pep said. But, man, like I said, they just didn't look like they were the same team the first 3 quarters of that first half.
Yeah, and it's how you start, right? And a new word you hear coaches use is sustainability and whatnot, and meaning you got to sustain that level of effort and because the level of performance is going to go up and down. There are a lot of factors with regard to performance, but you can always sustain the effort, and I think that's what Tom Kraft is talking about, and Kevin Kraft and the rest of the staff. Hey, guys, let's sustain the effort throughout. Let's not let down. Let's not lapse. They're still up 34-8. Still pretty impressive first half.
Great first half, and to really put away your crosstown opponent, and hopefully come out second half playing with some feist and vigor here still.
34-8 is the score right now. We have 30 more minutes of football left. Homecoming weekend here at RCC. We'll step out, and Jeff and I will come back along with Pep and the rest of our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew. Dennis Pope's going to join Jeff at half after this break.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
I'm Cheech Marin, and we're inviting you to reserve your spot for the inaugural showing of Cheech Collects. So get your tickets today. We're looking for you.
And welcome back here to Wheelock Stadium as the Tigers lead 34-8 over the visiting Mount San Jacinto Eagles. I'm joined by, my dear friend, the great Dennis Pope.
I am great, aren't I?
You are great. You are great. Now, here's the question for you. What is new? What's going on? Here's the first thing. What's going on in the city of Riverside and our local sports?
Oh, my gosh, so much is happening right now. Obviously, we're here at RCC today, and they're kind of taking the wood to MSJC this afternoon. But this last week, UC Riverside finally announced the hiring of Brad Langston to a 5-year contract to become their permanent head women's basketball coach, which is an exciting thing for UC Riverside basketball. Obviously, there's been some turmoil. The previous coach there over the last year and a half. So it's good to have that settled for that program so that they can properly recruit and build some stability there.
Yeah, I mean, they've really bought into what he was coaching last year. I think they were picked last in the preseason, but they ended up getting, I think, third in the conference. He's done a pretty darn good job. Now, do we know what happened to the last coach or anything? Because it's been kind of an interim basis for the last couple of years. And I'm the voice of the men's basketball program. Nobody understands what happened. Will it ever get out there, you think?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's a personnel issue, according to Wesley Mallett,
okay,
the athletic director there at UC Riverside. He's declined further comment. Coach Powell, of course, was a former WNBA player, and she just left abruptly in the middle of not last season but the season before, which required then Brad Langston to step up and become the interim coach. He came along with Coach Powell from Grand Canyon, and so he's left hanging too without his person that he came to Riverside with. It's a very interesting situation, but Brad is a very capable coach, a very good coach at developing players, developing young women athletes. And it's an exciting time, I think, for the Highlanders overall.
Yeah, we're very well liked. I was around him a few times last year, and everybody had great things to say about Brad Langston. So congratulations to him. In the next 5 years, let's go across town. What's been happening over at CBU women's basketball? I know they're starting in less than a month here, but I understand that they got some hardware.
Yeah, they finally got their rings for their Western Athletic Conference Championship. They won both the regular season and the conference tournament, which they've done twice now as members of that conference. Pretty much the standard bearers of excellence in that conference now, the women's basketball program at CBU, Coach Jared Olson, and they got some very, very nice championship rings.
Yeah, Jared Olson has done a phenomenal job, and I can't wait to see, Rick Croy's got a new group of guys with the men's program.
Yeah, college basketball is less than a month away.
Less than a month away. In fact, I'm hosting the tip-off dinner for UC Riverside's men's basketball. I think it's the 18th. I think you're going to be there with me as well, but looking forward to seeing head coach Mike McPile. He's got some new players, kept some old guys around from last year. What are your thoughts? Have you looked into UCR men's basketball at all this year?
I love the way Coach Mike recruits. I think the job he does with international players is phenomenal. I expect him to be very athletic and very probably underrated again. So he's got another tough coaching job ahead of him in terms of perception. Now, depends on the quality of players that he brings in, but you can expect there to be one or two really high-skilled, high-quality, high-ceiling big men among that group. So interested to see how that roster shakes out.
All righty, well, let's switch over to JC football. These two teams, obviously local teams. Great to see San Jacinto out here. You and I think we were at the game last year at their new stadium.
Yep.
What a wonderful place to play. But San Bernardino Valley college football kind of struggling a bit and abruptly ended their season, I heard.
Yeah, that's correct. That news broke yesterday or the day before. San Bernardino Valley college football will not play any more games this season, forfeiting the rest of their schedule. It started with an injury issue. They played their first two games of the season. Unfortunately, those didn't go very well. 65-0 score lines in both of the first two games of the season. Then the injury bug took hold, but they weren't very deep to begin with. They had a roster of about 45 players at the very start of the season, down to fewer than 40, down to fewer than 30, where it becomes a health issue overall to get out there and suit up. And so they canceled their game 2 weeks in a row, including this weekend. They were supposed to play Mount Sac, and obviously that's a no-go because they're such a tough team. They're going to beat you up even further, right? I think it's probably a smart thing to do. It's a tough situation, though, at San Bernardino Valley College, a proud football program, reduced in the last several seasons by economics, COVID, disinterest, and, of course, Riverside being so good across town, kind of sucking the talent all this way.
And you kind of you hope that they can kind of rebuild off this. I know they hired their coach very late coming into the season and had plenty of opportunities and time to do so, but maybe it's just a big reset. Beautiful on-site facilities over at San Bernardino Valley. Hopefully they can do something to change that.
It's a tough go for the head coach over there. The athletics department isn't exactly committed to running a 100-student athlete football program, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. Now, on the high school side, I know that you were talking. Are you doing a story on Norte Vista?
I am. I'm writing about their big, beefy offensive line and their tight ends.
Well, you're gonna have a chance to talk to Ken Batdorf. He feeds everybody, including himself. I mean, he's one of the one of the kindest. I joke around a lot about Ken Batdorf, but he's a father to all those kids. But what about the offensive linemen and tight ends piqued your interest?
They've just been so good. They're 6-0. They beat Patriot last night in the River Valley League opener. They've dominated the River Valley League, to be frank, the last decade. And this year, they might have their most experienced and best offensive line in years. All seniors in all 5 positions, including the tight end. And they're really utilizing the tight end this year, too. And the quarterback is being successful because of that utilization of the tight end position. I think Norte Vista has a chance to go a long way this year.
Yeah, talking about, I think everybody talks about Ryan Rodriguez and Ryan Huerta. Those 2 guys, I mean, are big-time athletes and big-time players. Ken Batdorf says that Ryan Rodriguez could be one of the best offensive linemen he's ever had, and is really surprised he's not getting a lot more looks. But Ken Batdorf, like I said, reloads every single year. It's at 6-0. Hopefully he can go 10-0, get a nice spot in CIF and not have to play on the road after winning a league championship all these years.
Shout out to the other guys in that group: Kevin Rayo, Gio Velasco, Joseph Corey, Hugo Sosa, who's the other tight end, and David Sanchez.
Yeah, great players. Now, there's something on here. Is San Bernardino getting a MILB champion? What does that mean?
So there's a lot of rumors swirling in minor league baseball right now. Ontario, the city of Ontario, which is a neighboring city here to Riverside, is building a new $6 million minor league baseball ballpark that is expected that the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes are expected to move into.
And the Quakes have a nice stadium as it is.
So that would leave the epicenter then vacant, correct?
Okay.
So the rumor mill circles, and that means that then the San Bernardino 66ers franchise, the Elmore Sports Group, which owns that stadium, would then move their franchise to Rancho Cucamonga, which would then leave San Bernardino 66er Stadium in San Bernardino empty. Now, there's a situation going up in Modesto.
The Nuts.
The Nuts, that's right. They're the 2-time back-to-back Cal League champion. But the city of Modesto doesn't care for minor league baseball very much and doesn't really want to renew the contract with the stadium there in Modesto. The Nuts being so good, it sort of forced their hand, but otherwise the Nuts would have either dissolved or gone elsewhere by now had the Nuts not been a championship team. So they're under contract for the 2025 season, but there's no contract after that. And so I'm chasing the rumor mill about this to see if the Nuts may end up in San Bernardino.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to get a hat that says the San Bernardino Nuts. You know, one of my best friends in the world, Mike Lindskog, is the voice of the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. I filled in a few times for them and out at Lake Elsinore and the 66ers. How cool is minor league baseball? If the first-time watcher or listener of what we're saying here, how cool is going to one of those minor league games?
I used to really, really love it when I was a kid, when I was 13, 14, to go out to minor league baseball because it's just so accessible. You're so close to the action, And these guys are future minor leaguers. The Cal League has changed over the years. They used to be high Class A, which means everybody's top draft pick you'd see here in the Cal League. Now it's more of a developmental low A. So the quality of talent has changed, but the accessibility to players is the same. The romanticism about baseball can still be found at the minor league level. Cal League specifically is one of those places where you can still go on a Tuesday night to a really quaint ballpark and talk to the bullpen catcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And have that experience there. So minor league baseball here in Southern California is still very good in certain spots. In Northern California, it's starting to go away a little bit. And so, again, minor league baseball has changed over the last 4 or 5 years, and it has hit the Cal League. It's still can be found in Rancho Cucamonga and Lake Elsinore and San Bernardino. Season's over for this year, but it'll be interesting to see again how it changes in the years ahead.
And what's great about the Cal League, and I've been blessed to cover a couple of these games, is, if the 66ers, say out here in San Bernardino, they have a rehab assignment, they're just down the street from the Big A. So Mike Trout's played here. All the big leaders that go through rehab go through Rancho Cucamonga, Lake Elsinore, and San Bernardino. So at any given time, you can see a great pitcher. You can see Clayton Kershaw has done his rehab assignments. So minor league baseball in this area is so fun. I ask and implore to everybody, go out and check out minor league baseball, and make sure you check out Dennis Pope in the local sports reporter here at the Southern California News Group, or better yet, the Press Enterprise. How do people find you? How do they reach you on social media?
I'm on social media on the Twitter machine at Dennis Pope. No underscores, no ampersands. Just at Dennis Pope, my name. It's the Southern California News Group, the Press Enterprise, the Sun newspaper in San Bernardino, the Daily Bulletin newspaper in Ontario, Orange County Register, LA Daily News, Long Beach Press Telegram, all the newspapers in Southern California that aren't the LA Times.
Well, pay that $1.99 or whatever it is online. I did it to check you out every single week. You do a great job, Dennis Pope. Also, on the board here of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. Thank you for joining us as we head into the second half. What are your thoughts on this first half?
It's going to be a big victory, I think, for RCC. I could see them dropping a 50 spot here very quickly in the third quarter even.
So another possible state championship, maybe a national championship in their future. He's Dennis Pope. I'm Jeff Gorham. We'll be back with the second half live here from Wheelock Stadium as Riverside leads 34-8 over Mount San Jacinto. We'll be right back.
Riverside Libraries have new hours and are now open on Sundays. Now you'll have more time to explore, study, and learn about the things that matter to you the most. The new hours for Arlington, Arlanza, Marcy, La Sierra, Orange Terrace, Eastside, and Casablanca libraries are Tuesday to Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., while the Downtown Main Library is open Tuesday to Thursday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Friday to Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. To find out more information about the new hours along with events and programs at the library nearest to you, visit riversideca.gov/library.
The City of Riverside Public Works Department provides high-quality trash and recycling services for our customers. Convenient curbside trash collection services promote a clean and healthy Riverside. To help us provide you with top-quality service, we ask you to follow a few key rules. There are 3 different containers for your trash. The blue bin is for recyclables and should only be used for clean recyclable materials such as aluminum cans, cardboard, glass bottles, plastics, and styrofoam. The old brown bin, or new bin with gray lid, is for standard household trash and items not suitable for the other bins, such as animal waste, cactus, palm fronds, soil products, and other waste. The green barrel is for your grass clippings, leaves, weeds, and other plant materials, excluding palm fronds, cactus, and yucca. And please remember not to use any of the containers for heavy construction waste such as concrete. For a complete guide to sorting your trash, please visit riversideca.gov/publicworks.
Hi, welcome to the Riverside Energy Resource Center. I'm Chuck Casey, the Utility Generation Manager. The Riverside Energy Resource Center consists of 4 large generators. They're 50 megawatts each. They're vital during summer peak periods and year-round when we need the power. Each year, we get special permission to take a preventive maintenance outage. We found a piece of metal missing from a rotating blade, which caused some subsequent damage, and it was prudent maintenance practices to repair that damage before we operated again. In the summer peak period, that can be very important. That power would have to be replaced with some other power, possibly external to the city or from a different source, likely sometimes not available at all. Doing this preventive maintenance paid off. We found the problem, we all worked together to get the unit removed, up to the repair facility, and back while power demands were low, so they can run their air conditioners and charge their electric vehicles. The Riverside Energy Resource Center has become more and more important each year. As we add more homes and more air conditioning load, more commercial industrial properties, having this large power plant within the boundaries of our electric system allows us to start the plant up during those peak demands to help the customers and greatly increase Riverside Public Utilities' reliability.
The Riverside City Clerk's Office's mission is to enhance community trust and promote equitable public services by providing accessible and efficient legislative support, digital services, and city records to residents, city council, city staff, and business partners. We prioritize fiscal responsibility and adapt innovative services to meet the ever-changing needs of the community. We strive to provide residents and businesses with responsive and optimal services. So what does that all mean? Our lean and high-performing team is divided among 3 important functions: legislative, administrative support, and resident services. Besides working as a partner with every city department, the city clerk's office is responsible for many public-facing duties such as our passport acceptance facility. The passport team averages over 6,000 applications processed annually, making us the most widely used and highest-performing passport facility in the region. As the keepers of the city's legislative historical record, we are the go-to office for public information requests. On average, our office fulfills over 1,600 requests a year with a 3-day average response time, much faster than the 10 days required by state law. Every 10 years after the U.S. Census, the city is required to redraw its ward boundaries to ensure equal representation, and the city clerk's office is an integral part of that effort. In 2022 and 23, we hosted and attended 40 community meetings to gather input from our residents on how we should reshape Riverside. Visit reshaperiverside.com to find out more about this process and to learn about Riverside's new ward boundaries. The city clerk's office is also responsible for municipal elections, as well as the onboarding and swearing in of all newly elected council members and newly appointed board and commission members. Our office processes all applications for new members and provides annual training for the city's legislative bodies. We provide staff and
Welcome back. Homecoming, as you see the Spirit Squad doing their thing. You ever run with a flag, Jeff?
No.
Well, Brady Jones didn't run with a flag, but he ran for a touchdown here. Broken play, 44 yards to pay dirt. Jones has thrown for 12 touchdowns on the year coming into the game. He runs for 1 there and then does what he normally does, gets this up in the air for a touchdown. Running under that one is Cox. That was a 70-yard throw. And then here's another one. This is a great one to Owen Jackson. Catches the ball and takes it in. Then they go back on the ground, do the Tigers to Marquise Monroe. Oh, instead, let's look at some defense here. Here's a great look at Tamiko Jackson there. Perfect technique. Makes the pick on the sideline, setting up another score for RCC. Here's Marquise Monroe. Monroe sidling into the end zone. Touchdown. At that point, 27-0. And then the man, the myth, the legend. Here is Isaiah Bogar playing the role of bully here. Just strips the ball away from Daniel Mendoza and waltzes into the end zone for the touchdown. And then the missed field goal here by RCC. And finally, at the end of the first half, a touchdown put in by Mount San Jacinto. That's the Bogar touchdown. Nice celebration there by Bogar. And we're back to action here. Before we are, Pep Fernandez down on the sideline. Pep, what do you got? All right, I guess we don't have Pep. Don't worry about it. Sorry. I saw him walking with a microphone. I apologize. We'll do the kickoff. We'll go to Pep after the kickoff. Real simple.
Sorry.
Okay, here we go in the second half.
RCC set to receive.
Eagles kicking off to the Tigers in the second half.
Monroe back deep for RCC. He's joined there by Daryl Booker. Booker, the freshman from Western Christian. Of course, Marquise Monroe out of Ayala High School.
Kicking for the Eagles, number 62.
Moises Asmosquita puts his foot into it. Monroe from the 4. Accelerating over the 25. Finds a hole at about the 30. Tumbles forward just inside the 35-yard line. Making the tackle for Mount San Jacinto, Mitch Aubrey, Marietta Valley player. So 32-yard return, and that's where Brady Jones will tee it up. First half for Jones, Jeff, 216 yards, but let's throw it down to Pep.
Hey, guys, the two words I would describe the RCC sideline right now to kick off the second half is calm and focus. It's amazing what a little air conditioning might do, but they came out, they looked determined, even though that comfortable lead after the first 2 quarters of play, still want to go out and play RCC football.
Nice move by Dominic Cox. Frank Father gets past him and bumped out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. Greg Jackson making the tackle. 38-yard pickup for Dominic Cox on the catch and run. First and 10 RCC.
Did you say cool and calm?
Yeah.
And collective.
So mark it officially to the 27, so a 37-yard pickup. Pearson going in motion. Jones looking for Omar Hammond. Touchdown RCC. 27-yard touchdown pass from Brady Jones to Omar Hammond. Omar coming, Jeff.
Wow. That was pretty quick. Only 32 seconds off the clock.
2 plays to move 64 yards. Marine on to try the PAT. Yeah, whatever Tom Kraft said at halftime works. They come out, they put 7 on the board, 41-8. They extend their lead. Jones with his 3rd touchdown pass of the evening. He now is up near 300 yards. Unofficially 280. There's Omar Hammond at a Patrick Henry High School.
It was just a great throw, great catch. So we had a lot of festivities going on at halftime.
Homecoming court. I saw some people down around the snack bar wearing their sashes. You ever have a sash?
No. I should, though.
Yeah, why not?
I'm going to just buy one. Walk around and look like a count.
14:28 of the 3rd.
I'm going to just call me Count Jeff.
The count. 5. And then he counts, remember?
Count. 1, 2, 3.
Thankful for PBS, and here's the kickoff coming. Samoski squibs it. Scooped up at the 22-yard line. And that's a little bit of a run. Moving up into RCC territory, scooping it up, Max Hunter. Hunter, a sophomore from Paloma Valley in your neighborhood, Jeffrey.
Hey, Samoski almost had a second tackle, but to no avail. Look at Samoski. He looks like he... Look at this. Watch, Samoski.
So flag down on the play. I believe officially that'll be a 34-yard return, but they'll back it off.
You know what they're going to call the penalty on Samoski for not even coming close to a tackle.
So they'll mark it back. It'll go back to the 30-yard line.
We're gonna go down to Pep Fernandez.
All right, go down to Pep.
Where's Pep?
Hey, Jeff and Gazal, if you're wondering if RCC would stay aggressive in the second half, well, there is your answer. And what a touchdown Whittle will do for morale here on the sideline as well. Head coach Tom Kraft just came over and jokingly grabbed the microphone and said, hey, no interviews during the game, and started laughing and walked off. So I think that big touchdown kind of reset the focus and then the mood here on this RCC sideline after that. Kind of a slow start to the end of that, slow into that second quarter going into halftime. Guys, back to you.
Mendoza running right and right into the hands of Ayabi. I think Bogar was there as well. So the two ends kind of meeting at the running back. Second down coming up.
Did I hear that right? He said Coach Kraft grabbed the mic?
Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah, he's very jovial. I don't understand why you don't think he is.
I was it's out of character during the game.
Tom's a very funny man. Second down and 10. Gonzalez getting flushed out, chased by Bogar. Throws the ball back the other way. Valencia makes the catch, and he's got some space. He'll get up to midfield. Tackle made by Jawan Nixon. 20-yard pickup on the play. Nice play there by Gonzalez under duress, finding the open man, and a little bit of run after catch by Emilio Valencia.
At their own 48-yard line.
So they'll mark it to 48, so 18-yard pickup. I'm sorry, John.
I'm going to get Coach Kraft one of those cooling towels, an orange one.
First and 10 from the 48, Mendoza, and there's Ayabi. How do you do?
That's number 54 on that scar.
Loss. They'll mark it back to the 44-yard line, so a 4-yard loss on the play. Second and 14. Remember Peter Ayabi, he's a San Diego area kid, was at Wazoo as a walk-on, and they really like him. Mission Hills High School, can play inside, can play outside. That's the word that Coach Kraft used. Hey, he needs to work on his sustainability, meaning we need to be able to keep him out there longer. Second and 14. Here's Apana in motion for Mount San Jacinto. Free play. Clemens in coverage against Nixon.
A free play led to offsides and a pass interference.
So we'll sort this out. So Casey Mazada obviously looking to evaluate some things. He and his staff here down 41-8. I mean, you never say never, but you got Clemens out of the backfield. Here comes the pressure from Ayabi, and the Tigers are offside, and there's the penalty. Nixon getting a little handsy. So they'll decline the encroachment, and they'll take the PI. So it'll be a first down for Mount San Jacinto, just to the right of that painted Tiger visage at midfield. So Apana motions out of the backfield, and here comes the jailbreak. 4 gray shirts pierce that Maginot line of the offensive line, and that, I think, has been the big difference. They've matched the physicality of Mount San Jacinto on both sides of the football tonight.
Yeah, and they're really, they're wearing those guys down. Let's just be honest. When you have all 4 of your linemen still standing.
So second and 10 after the incompletion. Gonzalez just smartly just burned the down. Nothing was going to happen there. Not enough time. So Valencia to the near side. Kretz next to him. Lican also out there. Wang split out to the far side. He's been relatively quiet. Just 2 catches today for Jackson Wang. Had a big game against Fullerton for a couple of touchdowns.
So is this an illegal substitution? Oh, too much time.
So delay a game, and it'll be second and 15 coming up as they mark it off 5 yards. Welcome back, folks. Wheelock Stadium. It's a pleasant Saturday afternoon. My name's Gazal. He's Jeff. Pep's down on the sideline. We have our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew here. I didn't see Ross down there.
So no Ross today.
It's sad.
We're Rossless.
2nd and 15. Not that, everybody else is here, but Gonzalez out of the backfield to Clemens, and that time Nixon got the lick on him after the incompletion. No flag there, 3rd down. It's not that the other people in the crew aren't pleasant. August was here today. I saw Jessica out there. All very nice people. Bob was here today. But, for whatever reason, Ross, he's kind of a presence. Here's the 2nd down play.
Watch this hit.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Nixon getting a lot of interest. James Cook told us Oklahoma kind of sniffing around. He is from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's what they say on the bio, by the way.
Why would you ever want to go back there? You want to stay out here. Stay on the West Coast.
Weng to the near side, near slot upon him. Logan Gonzalez, the complete into Weng. And Weng will be close to a 1st down. He's escorted out of bounds at the 43. Needed to get to the 40. And see what they do here. 4th and 3 coming up.
Yeah, they're going to stay out there. Remember, we saw the quick kick earlier.
The scoreboard says 4th down. The PA guy says 3rd down.
And that says
the sign says 1st down. So everybody's all confused. They have not moved the marker. So I'm going to go with the scoreboard here. 4th and 3. And the punt from Gonzalez. Logan Gonzalez with the kick. It'll roll dead at about the 18-yard line. So 25-yard kick, no return. 1st and 10 RCC. A lot of moving parts, Jeffrey. A lot of moving parts.
Always.
Get a look at Kevin Kraft there in the All Black, as is his dad, Tom Kraft. The All Blacks coaching staff.
Hey, what a great I had an opportunity to live in New Zealand. I used to watch the All Blacks play. Best rugby team in the world. Do you like rugby?
It's all right. I saw Invictus. Out of the backfield, complete to Cox. His 5th reception. And nice run after catch. Shackelford pulls him out of bounds. Gets to the 33-yard line. 15 more yards for Cox. He now has 5 catches for 155 yards. And the touchdown. From the 33. Play action to Monroe. Out of the backfield, this is Willerford. And Willerford ridden down at about the 38 after a 5-yard gain, making the tackle for Mount San Jacinto. Deshaun Brooks, they like him a lot. The sophomore from Vista Murrieta really runs the show. They think he has a great football IQ, had a big game against Fullerton last week. 9 tackles and a sack in that 35-28 win over the Hornets. Marquise Monroe finally goes down. Some good physicality. Making the tackle, Lakeon Fowler. He's out of West Valley High. Talking to Coach Mazzola, he says great hands. Fowler with just great hands and great grip there, bringing up 3rd down and short. Here's the give, and I believe they get it.
Yeah, they do.
That's Marquise Monroe. Making the tackle, Duke Zwicker. He's out of Great Oak. So to the 45-yard line are the Tigers. This is Branch, Andre Branch, sweeping to the outside, and he'll be tackled just maybe after a yard gain.
Chewing up some clock here, keeping it on the ground.
Robert Williams out of Citrus Hill on the tackle. So 1-yard pickup, 2nd and 9. Flea flicker. Jones looking down the field. He's got Owens wide open. Jackson Owens to the house. 54-yard flea flicker. The razzle-dazzle from Kevin Kraft. Brady Jones executes it. Touchdown, Riverside.
Gotta love those trick plays. There were 2 guys wide open. He has a choice. 2 to throw it to.
So Owens' 2nd touchdown catch. Just chunks and chunks of yardage That's a 54-yard play. They've had a 43, a 44, and a 69-yard play on the game. And it's 47, 48 to 8. I mean, I don't know if you did. Here's the play. Just wide open after the flea flicker, and dancing into the end zone again is Jackson Owens.
Hey, look, he did the thing from Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not from Cobra Kai. That is the Karate Kid.
Well, it's from original Karate Kid, but now the kids are all doing it because of the Cobra Kai.
Do you like Cobra Kai?
I did. I enjoyed the series very much. It's the new like a couple weeks, or no, I think 6 weeks. The second part is coming up. They're doing it in 3 parts.
Is this the last
season? I think it's the last season. Yeah. The great William Zabka, who's a CSUN alum, by the way.
Well, they filmed it at CSUN, didn't they?
They filmed a lot. Well, the first season, I know they filmed a lot of the first season in the Valley because I recognized a lot of the spots.
But they filmed the original Karate Kid at CSUN.
The All Valley Championships were in the Matadome. So Apana deep, along with Lacan, who makes the catch at the 6. Trying to get to the outside to the 20, dancing back inside, and finally goes down. Making the tackle on the play for RCC, Olion Fields. He's out of Fairfax High in Levine, Arizona. High school teammate of Andre Branch. And we'll go down to Pep Fernandez.
Hey, Gazal and Jeff, I think you guys were talking about Jackson Owens' celebration, if it was Cobra Kai or not. I kind of took off my headset, but I just want to clarify. I just asked him right now. He said it is absolutely Cobra Kai. He wanted to implement a little bit of karate in his celly, as the kids like to say. So big time touchdown celebrations and honoring Cobra Kai. So I think you guys were right. Back to you.
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, sir. Here's Mendoza inside. Ball came loose, but was he down? So Mendoza traverses over to the 31, 2-yard pickup for Daniel Mendoza. And I was going to say, in the first half, well, that was going to make it. In the first half, they held the Eagles to 10 yards rushing. They're now down to 9.
No!
It's been a negative here on the second half. RCC came in 12th in the state in rush defense.
I think they might move up.
Second down and 8. Here's a throw to Mendoza to the outside. And Nixon right there. He'll lean the ball forward. He'll get close to the first down. They're going to mark him up to the, well, he needs to get to the 39. They marked him just short, maybe a yard short of the first down.
Brings up a 3rd and 1 for the Eagles at their own 38-yard line.
So RCC is over the 500-yard mark on offense. We're not even halfway through this third quarter, Jeff.
They're on pace to break world records.
3rd and 1.
Oh, didn't get it.
Down he goes. First man there for RCC, Darren Scott. Scott, the sophomore from Vista del Lago, was the initial hit. Then his teammates showed up and cleaned it up. It'll make it a 4th and 2. That combination at defensive tackle, the rotation between Sagayao, Venegas, and Darren Scott, and I'll throw Miles Hancock in there. He left the game with an injury earlier. That's really formidable for RCC, that interior. And, you know, Ayabi can play inside as well, and we haven't even mentioned Gurlier Irvin. 4th and 2. Here's the punt. Kuczynski. Fair catch called by Will Bond at the 23-yard line. So a 40-yard kick, no return, and RCC will tee it up there. And I guess at this point, you're going to see, hey, can Kevin Kraft's offense roll up 700 yards for a 3rd straight week?
700 yards.
They're at 5:05 right now, 3:856 through the air, and 149 on the ground. RCC came in leading the state in points per game at 50.5. Looks like they can get there fairly easily. 1st in passing yards, 2nd in running yards, and 1st in overall yards per game. And looks like Brady Jones still in there. Jones will give to Monroe. Marquise Monroe sweeps to the outside, slithers past one tackler, and finally Do down at about the 39-yard line after a 15-yard gain, making the tackle for Mount San Jacinto, Frankie Alvarez. Alvarez also a freshman from Hemet. He prepped at Tockwitz High.
And a flag on the play. Let's see if it's coming back as a hold. Yep.
Holding on RCC. We'll move it back. Tigers still needing to go on the road. Next home game, I believe, will be back here on the 26th. It'll be homecoming against Southwestern. That'll be a 2 o'clock start.
2 p.m.
Yeah. Just 2 home games left. Jones out of the backfield. Completion to Monroe. Monroe slips one tackle and gets the first down. No flag this time. 17-yard pickup. And they really like Marquise Monroe. When I was talking to Tom Kraft, he really believes he can do a lot with this program. Monroe, career 2,500 rushing yards at Ayala, also 650 receiving yards, had 32 touchdowns in 29 games in high school, and they like him. They use him as a kick returner as well. So 1st and 10 from the 35, bells and whistles. And false start called on the Tigers. So the Tigers now, 11th penalty for 102 yards. It's pretty even, Stephen. The Eagles have been flagged 12 times for 109 yards. First and 15. Jones, little RPO, and he's getting up to the 35, still on his feet. And
yeah, I heard a whistle, I thought, earlier.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know if it was on the field or inadvertent or what it was. I heard one too, but they kept running the play. Jones kept going.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly happened on the play. There was no flags.
So now they're trying to explain it to Tom Kraft. Not sure what's going to happen. Was it invert? Did they blow the play dead? I'm thinking, are they explaining it to Tom Kraft, or is Tom Kraft explaining it to them?
It's going to be like when you were a little kid playing in the street. Let's do a do-over.
Yeah. Well, they gave him the game. Yeah. And that's tough on the defense, right? Because if you hit somebody after the whistle, you're going to get flagged. Second down. Here's Jones over the middle.
Ooh.
Complete to Cassius Asianti, near a first down. They call him Cash. He had a touchdown in the opener against Long Beach. Very close to a first down. 3rd and 1. Right. Dallas Williams coming out, the tight end out of Beaumont, into the formation. We'll also get a look at KJ Sherry out of Etiwanda. 3rd and 1. Monroe with the carry. First down. Pounding up into Eagles territory, We'll throw it down to Pep Fernandez after the first down.
Hey, Gazal and Jeff, it's been all good news pretty much today for the RCC Tigers, but a little bit of bad news, Jeff, for your favorite player, Isai Boger. He is done for the day. He has his pads off. He's got a little bit of ice taped to his lower back. I went over and asked him just to make sure, is your day done? Is it your lower back? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm just going to play it safe. So he is done for the day. Guys, back to you.
Jackson Owens makes the catch inside the 40. They'll mark him to the 38, about a 9-yard pickup. So,
well, Gazal, it was really nice work working with you. I'm going home.
No Isaiah Boger, no Jeffrey.
Well,
It's your old buddy Dave Zink years ago when I first met him, we were talking about Al Michaels. 2nd and 1. Back to throw. Jones. Oh, incomplete. Intended for Monroe. So he was telling me, we're both Al Michaels fans. He was saying, Al Michaels doesn't eat vegetables. Al Michaels gets the French onion soup without onions. And Zink, he's could be a bit of a goofball. It sounded ridiculous. Sure enough, a few years later, I'm reading Al Michaels' autobiography, and he talks about there's some hotel in D.C. that has a big, he orders the French onion soup without onions. So that's kind of like the defense for RCC without Isaiah Boger.
Exactly.
Cox in space. Dominic Cox inside the 20. First down RCC. Chased out of bounds by Swoot Alvarez, another Vista Marietta product. First down RCC, about a 20-yard pickup. They'll mark it to the 18. Another look at Cox, and how good has he been?
Man, he's great today.
Lost Espadrone. And he's kind of just picked up right where he left off. Very explosive. 6th catch for him, 175 yards. Jones looking, throwing, end zone, touchdown. Marquise Monroe, 2nd trip to pay dirt. The Tigers just pouring it on, Jeffrey.
Wow. He made it look easy. That play looked easy. I could have played quarterback on that move.
18-yard touchdown pass from Brady Jones to Marquise Monroe. Jones over 400 yards passing on the afternoon. And Luis Marin splits the uprights, and the Tigers pay tribute to Sammy Hagar, Fontana High School.
Can't drive?
55-8. Just pitching and catching.
See, I was more of a Van Halen guy than Van Hagar.
So 5 minutes, 55 points. Jeff, we still got 20 minutes of football.
You do.
Listen, next time bring Luke, because then you can have Luke just do the game. You can go have a hot dog.
You gotta be kidding
So
me.
here's the one, there's a bunch of stats. We can talk about all the stats, right? Here's the one that jumps out at me.
Oh, what does it?
Most incongruous. Time of possession. Mount San Jacinto, 26:56. RCC, 13:06.
I was going to say like 18 seconds.
Yeah. As we were talking about, it was kind of the same thing we were talking about last night at the high school game. The ball control versus the quick strike. Samaski's kickoff. Here's Apana bringing it about 3 yards deep out of the end zone.
Here comes Samaski.
Up to the 15, and down he goes. Bo Bruins in on that tackle. Also there, Tevita Tukanga.
We got Pep Fernandez again. You know what? He has a lot of stuff going on down there.
All right, what do you got, Mr. Fernandez?
I work my best, guys, when it's over 100 degrees. Brady Jones, his day is done. I know you guys will have the stats up there, but Brady Jones is done for the day. Jared Doolittle is up and warming up. I just saw him speaking with Coach Kevin Kraft to get his marching orders as he takes over the offense on the next possession. Guys, back to you.
Brady Jones done for the day, Jeff. 19 for 31, 433 yards and 5 touchdowns. And I mentioned there are 19 minutes and 52 seconds left in this one. So we'll see Jared Doolittle next offensive sequence, but the offense comes out for Mount San Jacinto.
You got 19 minutes and 52 seconds by yourself, buddy.
The top 2 quarterbacks in the league by yardage. Jones I think he's over 2,000 for the season, and now Logan Gonzalez came in 13-21. He's 16 of 35 for 180 yards for Mount San Jacinto. First down play. Gonzalez rushing, and he loses the football. RCC's got it. Johnny on the spot. Micah Patman. Patman, the freshman from Centennial High in Peoria, recovers the fumble. First down and 10, RCC at the 30. Second turnover. They had the interception earlier. Oh, no, third turnover because the fumble. So third turnover, the fumble recovery by Bogar. No Isaiah Bogar, no problem. The defense forced another turnover. So starting offensive line looks like it's still out there. Oh, wow. So a penalty on RCC. Holding on the Tigers gives the ball back. So wipe off the turnover. Hit the rewind, Jeffrey. And it'll be a first down.
Wow.
So we got royalty up here. It's homecoming, and the great John Zimble up in the press box. Miss you.
John Zimble's looking good. He's got some cool socks on today. One of my favorites.
Incomplete. Jump ball. Jump ball was intended there for Jasavian Duffy Cooper out of Orange Vista. On the coverage for RCC, TJ Parker out of Timwater in Washington. 2nd and 10.
Out of Washington?
The state of Washington.
My dad used to say Washington because he was a Pennsylvania guy.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
He talked funny.
He had that weird Delco accent. Yeah, I like it. 2nd and 10. Out of the backfield of Darius Johnson. And he'll bump into his own man. Gets over the 45, about the 46-yard line. I think got crossed up a little bit there. Mitch Aubrey got in his way. So about a 4-yard pickup on the play, 3rd and 6 coming up. So Johnson out of the backfield. Tamiko Jackson kind of got there, and then he bumps into Aubrey, as you can see there. Parker was also around the football. So 3rd down coming up. Kretz to the far side, Apana in the far slot, Emilio Valencia in the near side. Little screen set up, and they flush it out perfectly, but he holds up. He'll be short of the first down, but did do a nice job bouncing off the tackle. Yeshua Yisrael had the hit, but nice job by Darius Johnson kind of bouncing outside and picking something up. Could have been a bad loss. He got back just inside the original line of scrimmage. 4th down coming up. Lacan to the top of the screen. Split out to the near side, Valencia, near slot, Apana. Right next to him, Christian Kretz. Logan looking that direction and intercepted. This is Yisrael bringing it back the other way. Yeshua Yisrael, he's got one man to beat. It's the quarterback, and the quarterback slows him up enough for Valencia to come in and bring him down inside the 5-yard line. So they had a turnover wiped away, and now they get another one, the interception. 2nd pick against Logan Gonzalez. And the Tigers out here hunting eagle.
No, there is a penalty.
A lot of penalties tonight. 13 penalties on RCC, 12 on the Eagle. So 20, and both these teams had issues with penalties coming in. Talking to Casey Mazzota, they had 43 penalties over their first 3 games. The Tigers had 53 over their first 4, including one game where they had 26. So offsetting personal fouls, it'll be first down RCC. Looks like it'll be about the 4-yard line. So now it's returned by Yeshua Yisrael, who's from El Paso, Texas. 23 graduate of Chapin High School.
Chapin? Like Mary Chapin Carpenter?
I was thinking of Harry Chapin.
Was there a Mary Chapin?
There was. She said, "Harry, keep the change." That happened to me once when I was driving a cab. No, I'm kidding. I never drove a cab, but it's a great story.
You had me for a second. I was intrigued.
First and goal. Doolittle hands the ball off and into the end zone for the touchdown. That's that's Devin Turner. Devin, not Divine. Turner for the touchdown. Sorry, there's so many touchdowns happening. I'm all confused. 4-yard touchdown run. RCC now at 600 total yards. 2:57 to play in the third quarter, 61-8.
We're still in the third?
Still in the third, Jeff.
We've been playing for 7 hours and 14 minutes.
I thought the Dave Zink story might tune you into that, and the PAT is good, 62-8. Dave Zink, for many years, for those of you who don't know, here's another look at the pick. This sets up that touchdown run. Yisrael brings it back 50 yards to the 4-yard line, and then a couple of offsetting, gets by Logan Gonzalez there, and finally ridden down Valencia. Emilio Valencia helps bring him down, and then Devin Turner. And Pep Hernandez was mentioning it earlier that Kevin Kraft wants to get a bunch of guys in the game. You know, Tom Kraft told me that last year. Hey, I like, they ran the receiver platoon. They used about 7 or 8 receivers last year. But he said, I like having 3, 4, 5 running backs in a game.
He could have 17 if he wanted to, for gosh.
I mean, and he was talking about, like in a close game. He said, hey, in the fourth quarter, if I have a guy that I'm confident that I can perform and I can bring him in with fresh legs, it's all the better for us.
And we've seen it. We've seen, over the years covering RCC, they've always had, 2, 3 backs per game.
So, I mean, we got, Pearson, Monroe, Branch, Turner. Brandon McMaster's had a couple of touchdowns in the opener against Long Beach. So that's 5 guys right there. And then one running back, Bo Bruins, he made a tight end. Lacan's going to bring it out.
Uh-oh.
Nice little move at the 15.
Uh-oh.
Trying to get to the outside. He's got a convoy, and then he'll be stopped.
Uh-oh.
He had to kind of slow down a little bit inside the 35. He got over the 40, I believe.
And they were close to Samoski again.
Sione Filihia kind of started the motion that kind of pushed him out of bounds. Another look at the kickoff. And there are some flags out, so we'll have to sort those out. But second time the Eagles have bought the ball out of the end zone.
Should we go down to that guy down there on the field again?
All right. What has Pep Hernandez got
He's
for
got
us?
more for us.
Always more.
Hey, guys, always doing a little bit of math as well. So if you look at the last couple of games, the last time out for the Tigers, they scored 35 against El Camino in the third quarter. Then last week against Palomar, they scored 21 in the third quarter. And already against MSJC, they have scored 26 in the third quarter. So dare I say the Tigers might be a third quarter team that's kind of playing out that way as we go into, close to the fourth quarter now.
So the officials still talking it over. 2:44 left. They've put 70 up. They put 70 on El Camino, but El Camino put 45 on the board. It's 8 points for Mount San Jacinto.
And see, if Pep was here last week, he'd have known they were a third quarter team. He missed.
So the foul is going to go against Mount San Jacinto.
I think they should stop calling fouls.
So now it's even Steven. So how about this? Mount San Jacinto, 13 penalties for 124 yards. RCC, 13 penalties, 127 yards.
Wow.
From the 29-yard line now, 1st and 10. Jared Doolittle in at quarterback. Or I'm sorry. Oh, that was against RCC, so it goes back to Mount San Jacinto. Sorry about that. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, they backed it off. So here's Gonzalez. Underneath, and it's going to be picked again. Pick 6. Coming back the other way. Touchdown, RCC. The pick 6 for Shaheem Taylor. Taylor out of Liberty High School in Las Vegas. He takes a trip to pay dirt. So the defense now, the pick earlier set up the touchdown. Boger's already been to the end zone. Now the pick 6 from Shaheem Taylor.
I wonder what Pep has for us next.
Yeah, it's like the Castellanos thing, right? Every time we talk to Pep, the defense makes a big play. Marin, is that Marin? Yeah, that's still Marin. The PAT. 9 for 10 on PATs is Luis Marin. Not quite Jose Martinez territory from Ramona High last year, who went 10 for 10, but very close. Another look at the pick 6.
Is that three in this quarter?
20. What was the score at the half? It was 41 at the half, right?
Yeah,
so 28. So four touchdowns.
Interceptions though in the second half. Is that right?
2 in the second half.
2 in the second
1
half?
in the first half. Yes. Yeah, 3 interceptions for 79 yards. They've recovered a fumble as well. 4 turnovers.
Plenty of time left in this one.
I mean, 600 yards on offense. They forced 4 turnovers on defense. Allowed just 12 rushing yards. That's dominance.
They've made a whole lot of points the last 2 minutes. I went 3 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes. I think 3. I think we've had 21 points in 3 minutes. Uh-oh. Samoski. I just worry about my kicker.
Here's Apana on the right side, diving forward over the 40. Let's see what they'll mark it. Mark it at the 46-yard line, so about a 44-yard return.
I'm a little disappointed in Samoski. Didn't go. He could have made another tackle if he'd have ran.
So he's the catch-22. Jeff obviously likes kickers. He's always pump up kickers, but then he's got to hold them accountable too.
Yeah, I just was watching him.
So a good return by Mount San Jacinto. It's a 69-8 game.
I wonder what our friend Dennis Pope is going to write about in this game. I got to wake him up first, though.
Gonzalez over the middle. Complete to Kretz inside the 40. About a 16-yard completion to Christian Kretz. Sticks move up for Mount San Jacinto. 5th reception for Kretz. He's got 62 yards. Just one of those afternoons for the Eagles. And, you know, I got a chance to chat with Coach Mazzata this week and talked to a couple members of his staff. And, you know, that's a good group. They're a good group of players, too, as Gonzalez back to throw, motioning, incomplete, and a flag coming in. Might be a defensive penalty on RCC.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a PI.
I think it was Taylor who had the pick 6 on the coverage. Intended receiver down the field was Jasavion Duffy Cooper. We've called his name a few times out of Orange Vista. Played for, is it Greg Zomalt, right? Or is Orange Vista? Or is he Rancho Verde?
Yeah, it's one of the Zomalts. Doesn't really matter.
So the penalty on RCC will move the ball to the 23-yard line. 15-yard mark off. So 14th penalty on RCC. Under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Gonzalez throw into the end zone for Apana. Incomplete, and here comes the flag. On the coverage was Michael George, but it looks like it's going to be penalty. Greg Olson penalty. Greg Olson.
And there's a PI again.
15th penalty on RCC. So rolling up yardage on the offensive side, on the penalty side. There you go. And the RC bench doesn't like it. But they never do. You never like it when the penalty is being called on you. Homecoming crowd here this afternoon having a good time, as are the Tigers. Lead this one big. Gonzalez, ball on the ground, and they'll whistle it dead as the knee touched. So second down coming up. It just shows you kind of how fickle this thing is on both sides of it. There's the errant snap, and then down goes Gonzalez. You come off the high of the win against Fullerton at home, and then You want to play, obviously Coach Mazzota and his staff and the Eagles, you want to play the people at the top of the standings, which the Tigers are, and they have been for the last decade, more than a decade now. Aubrey in motion for Mount San Jacinto. Gonzalez to throw over the middle, looking incomplete. Cooper Duffy, Taylor on the coverage. Also helping out was Jalen Curtis. Curtis, the freshman out of Upland. Third down coming up.
We have a couple good games next week, Gazal. Got Hillcrest versus Hammett, H squared, and then you and I are going to be on the Battle of the Kens as Norte Vista is going to take on the defending state champions, my Ramona Rams.
It's a Barbie day. It's a pink zone game. The Barbie day, and we'll have the two Kens. Third down. Gonzalez to the end zone. Another flag. Valencia in coverage with Taylor, and I believe they're going to get RCC for the pass interference. Schedule coming up for RCC. They'll have the bye next week. They go to Grossmont on October 19th. Their next home game, October 26th, at Southwestern. 2 o'clock start. So another first down on the penalty as they'll move it half the distance.
Are you excited for All Hallows Eve?
I am.
What are you going to dress up as?
I'm going to wait till the pep rally, then we're going to do the Gilligan's Island thing at the pep rally. I'm just waiting for that. So 43 seconds left here in the third quarter. First and goal, ball on the 5-yard line for Mount San Jacinto. So Valencia and Kretz to the far side. Baja Biamala to the near side. The tight end.
And a timeout called.
RCC call timeout?
Somebody did. And whoever did should be fired.
43 seconds left in the third quarter here. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's been nice hanging out.
Last two games we have for RCC, October 26th at Southwestern, and then a 1 o'clock start November 9th on Saturday against San Diego Mesa. And they're pretty good. Their defense, man, they're something else.
Their defense?
Yeah, they have a great defense. I think they're allowing 7 points per game.
Do you think they're going to allow 7?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I haven't looked at their offensive numbers. So, but I mean, in terms of Mesa, Mount San Jacinto, and Fullerton, who are all in RCC's division or conference, they're all really good defensive teams.
Okay, Gazal.
So, first and goal. RCC is too. I mentioned they're ranked 12th in rush defense in the state. Mendoza burrowing, diving. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Mount San Jacinto. Daniel Mendoza dives into the end zone, a 4-yard run with 36 seconds to play in the third quarter. PAT attempt coming out.
Yeah, they're going to go for 2.
They got it once. Why not try it again?
It was a cool play last time.
They love that tight end motion. They give it back to Mendoza. He's in. So the 2-point conversion successful. They started the game kind of running the football, had some success with it, but then that was that first quarter that kind of started slow. So 69-16. I wonder what kind of scoregami that is. You know, they look at how rare the scores are. I'm wondering the rarity of that score. You know, that's something John Zimla would know if he was scoring the game. I don't know how many football games have ever had this score.
69-16?
Yeah. So the Tigers have gone for 70 once this year. I don't know. You can't, I'm thinking about Tom Kraft, very unpredictable. I was going to say, I would guess that they probably wouldn't play for a field goal up this much, but you never know.
But, you have so many guys that don't get opportunities.
That's the thing.
And you can't tell them not to play.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Mesquita. And the fair catch called for, so it'll be a touchback. And RCC will start it. I mean, it's kind of the age-old question. And I always remember, when Jimmy Johnson was at Miami and they would talk to him about it. And I think, it was kind of an arrogant answer, but I understood the answer. He said, well, guys, because they were accusing him of running the score up against Notre Dame. And he said, there you look at the Crafts, Tom and Kevin. I can only coach one team, guys. That's all. My responsibility is to coach my team. And I think that's valid.
At the college level, yes. In high school, you can kind of, there are rules to keep this from happening, but
Doolittle out of the backfield throwing it. Maybe a 2-yard play completion to Olan Fields. Is that Fields? No, Fields is a defensive back. I'm sorry, that's Derrick Henry.
20 seconds.
I'm sorry, Daryl Booker. Booker out of Western Christian, and the third quarter will wind down here in the city of Riverside. Teams will switch sides in a moment, and we'll go down to our intrepid on-field reporter, Pep Fernandez, end of the third quarter. 69-16 in favor of the home team. Pep, what do you got for us?
Well, guys, again, I'm a big math guy, so we're averaging about an hour per quarter right now as it's 4 o'clock. But seriously, right now, the RCC Tigers were really taking a lot of pride in trying to keep MSJC out of the end zone. Listen, the victory is already in the bag. They know what's going to happen. It's inevitable at this point. But they're still taking some small victories here, and that second-line defense was trying to come up with a stop. So they're still going hard, and I heard Jeff make the point that a lot of guys who might not see the field, they're out here, and they want to play hard. They want to get some snaps and make it the most productive they can. So just because they got a big lead, it's not like they're giving up quite yet, because these guys want to get out there and make the most of their minutes. Back to you.
Yeah, eight receivers, Jeff, have caught a pass, and 5, including Brady Jones, have been 5 people rushing the football. And again, you got that elusive 700-yard mark, right? 602 yards so far for RCC. They've amassed 700 yards in each of the past 2 weeks. They'd like to do it again, particularly, against a defense that held Fullerton to under 200 yards last week. It's kind of, it's you're sending a message, right? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I guess you're doing something. Sending a message to everybody. I want to see RCC play UCLA.
Doolittle, the give to Turner. Turner kind of trying to jitterbug outside, slips through some empty space, and not a bad run. Got over the 30, about the 33. It'll make it about a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. As the clock continues to move. And I would guess Tom Kraft going to keep it on the ground here. Try to run the clock. I mentioned it earlier, Jeff, when I was talking to Coach Kraft this week. He said to me, we're just talking about, he was talking about how much fun it was. I said, listen, if you don't want to answer, I understand. What's it like working with your son? He goes, I'll talk about that. And he just talked about how it kind of reinvigorated him, kind of his approach as well. 3rd and 3. Here's Turner, and down he goes. Making the tackle, Adrian Mendoza, the freshman from Arlington.
That's my guy. Best beard in the world.
So nice to see him getting some time. But I mentioned it earlier. He said, I've turned the entire play calling over to my son, and he's had a lot of experience. And he goes, he's a better play caller than I am. And we talked about it earlier. But I think part of that is being a proud papa. But, with knowing Tom Kraft, that's not something he's going to say out of turn, right? He's not going to say that loosely. Football is a very serious thing to him.
Well, my dad was my assistant coach, and my dad's a Hall of Famer. I had to almost fire my dad. because he was crazy. He was yelling at me in timeout. I said, Dad, I'm not 12.
Here's the punt from Samoski. And it's fumbled. Kretz fumbles the football, and the Tigers have it. Fifth turnover for Mount San Jacinto. So now we're seeing some different guys come out for the offensive line. Carl Branagh, who's out of Palm Springs High School. Nico Alvarez. Alvarez, a freshman out of Norco. A couple of different guys on the offensive line. Looks like Trujillo's still in there. So as Pep mentioned, some guys getting some looks. Doolittle back in there. Demaria Thomas in the near slot for RCC. The handoff to Monroe. He'll go down. The first man to him that kind of slowed him up was Orion Hudson. Hudson, a freshman out of Hemet High. We'll have Hemet as part of the doubleheader next Friday. You and I will be at the Kendall battle at Ramona, between Ramona and Norte Vista. Nick Rice and John Rice, the Rice Bowl, will be over at Zach Erb Stadium.
And August Rice directing. Rice.
An all-carb game. 1st and 10. Doolittle will tuck it under and dive forward. Maybe over the 45. So I'm sorry, they had 1st and 10 on the board. That was my mistake. It's about 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13 now. Ball needs to get to the 42 for a first down. Clock continues to move.
We're on pace for 4 hours. And guess what? It's been a great 4 hours spending it with you and the viewer.
Doolittle. He'll just run. Doolittle got the first down.
Do-lot.
So up to the 42-yard line. Sticks move up, and Doolittle taking a page out of Brady Jones's book. Jones had a touchdown earlier. Let's another look at the play. Sees everything's covered, and he's going to go run. Slides down at about the 40-yard line. Jones ran for 52 yards on his 4 carries, including that 44-yard touchdown. From the 42, it's a 1st and 10. Turner lowers the shoulder. I'm sorry, that wasn't Turner. Instead, T.J. Parker, the fullback from Tumwater, Washington, to the 37-yard line. Clock continues to move. 2nd down. So can the Tigers reach that 700 mark for a 3rd straight game?
If so, that's 2,100 yards in 3 games.
Yeah.
That's 21 times down the football field. 21 times in 3 games.
Here's the give, and it'll be a short gain up to about the 35-yard line. Carrying the ball there, Kyle Tyler Shine. He's a freshman out of Summit in Fontana. Played for Nick Matheny. You know, Coach mentioned him. Coach Kraft, he was injured to start the year, and Coach mentioned, hey, he's a guy we really like. We'd like to get him in. He's got to get healthy first, and this is his first carry of the year, I believe, unless he carried it on the road a couple weeks ago. As we talked about him before the season, they said, yeah, he's probably a couple of weeks away, which would have been week 3. We're in week 5 right now. 3rd down. So trips to the top of the screen. J.J. Hooper out there. Also Elijah Vasquez joins Demaria Thomas. And RCC will call a timeout with 9:45 to play in the 4th quarter. Checking to see in case Pep's got something, but I don't see him. So it should be very intriguing in terms of the conference. Obviously, RCC ready to go to 2-0 in conference play here with a big lead, and we'll toss it down on the field to Pep Fernandez.
All right, guys, I got something here. I've been holding on to this all game, and I don't know if I was going to be able to share it or not at this rate. But, again, we were talking to Kevin Kraft, the offense coordinator here for RCC, and he's telling us before the game, when he goes around town, around the city of Riverside, people might ask, well, what do you do? Where do you coach? And he says, well, the RCC Tigers. And he says, without a doubt, everyone always says, oh, do you know Bo Bruins? He says, Bo Bruins must be like a local celebrity. He's like, everyone asks about Bo Bruins. He's a hometown hero. And I said, yeah, he is kind of a big deal. So Coach Kraft knows Bo Bruins, big deal here in the city of Riverside. That's all I got, guys. Back to you.
3rd and 5. Doolittle throwing to the outside. It's complete at the 31-yard line. Making the catch for RCC is Elijah Vasquez, a freshman. He's another Upland kid, Western Christian High. Sorry, Jeff.
No, I was going to say, doesn't he know? I mean, they're erecting a statue of Bo Bruins in front of Ramona High School.
First down, Tigers.
So Sticks move up, ball to the 32-yard line. 5-yard pickup on the play. Shuttling into the game for RCC is Craig Lowe. Lowe, a tight end. He's a freshman from Murrieta Valley. First down and 10 from the 32. Doolittle with the give. And inside the 20-yard line, slashing is Kyle Tyler Shine.
Hey, that's the kid from
Summit.
Kaiser.
Summit. Played for Nick Matheny.
Oh.
I think Adrian Mendoza made that tackle as well. A little local action, a little Summit and Arlington. Clock ticking. 2nd down coming up. Doolittle, the quick throw, and the completion about the 25-yard line. Daryl Booker makes the catch. On the defense for Mount San Jacinto is Aswoot Alvarez. So Booker from Western Christian, Alvarez from Vista Murrieta. 3rd down coming up at the 25-yard line. They're trying to move the ball. They're also trying to run the clock here. Third down play. Here's the give. Driving after the initial contact, he'll have the first down. Tyler Shine gets inside, running between the tackles. You can see why Tom Kraft likes him, Jeff. That hard running between the tackles. And this is kind of both sides. I mean, you're Mount San Jacinto or your RCC. You're trying to maybe find some of those gems in the wilderness, so to speak. A guy maybe hasn't had a lot of playing time, trying to get a look at what he can do in a game situation.
Yeah, we've talked about it many times. There's game guys and practice guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes guys don't always practice great, but in games they can turn it on.
Monroe burrowing up the middle, and he'll be tackled at about the 10-yard line, making the tackle for Mount San Jacinto. That's Duke Zwicker, Great Oak product. Very close to a first down, just short, about a 9-yard gain on the play. So I think unofficially RCC up to 639 yards offense. Cherry to the top of the screen. Split out to the bottom of the screen is Jordan Carter. The turn and the give. Dancing is Tyler Shine. Still on his feet. He'll be upended and the ball comes loose. Tigers look like they recover it down at the down at the 2-yard line. Making the hit is Orion Hudson, Hemet High School product for Mount San Jacinto. Nice move there, and just putting, you can see just the physicality of how he runs, and then the ball came loose there. You know, I was talking with Casey Mizzata a little bit about the profile of Mount San Jacinto. Now they're moving up and playing the big boy football. And you look at the roster here, Jeff. I mean, you got guys from, we've mentioned Murrieta Valley a lot, and the touchdown into the end zone for RCC. Kyle Tyler Shine, his first trip to pay dirt as a Tiger, 70 mark for RCC.
Wow.
Another touchdown drive navigated by Jared Doolittle. And, you look at the RCC side, obviously Brady Jones done after this year. Between Cooper and Doolittle, there's going to be a battle for that spot for next year. Here comes the PAT. Marine trying to make it 10 out of 11. Swings the leg on the PAT, and that one is good. 76-16 is the score. Another look at the touchdown run here. Kyle Tyler Shine. We mentioned Coach Kraft, when I talked to him before the season, he was one of the guys he was talking about, part of that running back rotation.
Look, they're packing up the cannon.
Yeah, they fired it way too much. They probably...
I forgot my cannonballs this week.
Violated some ordinances.
I was supposed to bring cannonballs. We were supposed to shoot Mount Rubidoux today. Let's see if those cannonballs could hit the mountain.
But, getting back to the point about Casey Mazzata and the staff, look at the Liberty, Hemet, Paloma Valley, Vista Murrieta. They're looking at, they have a couple of kids from Tockwitz, Temescal Canyon. So there is talent there. And you saw I didn't see it, but you saw the new facility.
I've been
with
there.
The new facility there now, it's a place you can come. And now, they're playing against the local teams. They're playing Fullerton. They're playing RCC in the same league. So definitely think that'll enable them to, secure talent, bring it in there. I'll tell you a story that Coach Mazzata told me. As when we get back to the offense, little squib kick, picked up about the 14-yard line. Here's Lacan up over the 35 to the 40, and then finally escorted out of bounds there. Jalen Curtis was the one closest to him. About a 29-yard kickoff return up to the 42. Out of high school, Brady Jones was very much on their radar. They wanted him to come, and he made the decision to go to RCC because they actually, the offer from Coach Mazzata was, hey, you're going to play, you probably will play right away. And Brady Jones decided to come play for Coach Kraft. And we had this conversation that Coach Kraft says, the general consensus when people, when it's handlers and parents and whatnot, is high school coaches go somewhere where you're going to play. And Coach Kraft disputes that. I'll get to that in a minute. 1st and 10 from the 42. I think he made a really good point. So new quarterback in there for Mount San Jacinto. This is Johnson, who goes down at the 39-yard line. The new quarterback is it new? It's 18, not 10. Okay. It is Gavin Roth. Roth, a 6'2 freshman from Rancho Christian. But the point Tom Kraft made is you don't need to go somewhere where you can play. You need to go somewhere where you can develop. And then once you develop, you can play. And I had this conversation. I won't mention the person's name. It wasn't a head coach, but I had with one of the high school coaches this week, one of the assistants on one of the staff, 2nd and 12. Because timeout called by Mount San Jacinto. I'll finish the story. So when I was talking with Coach Kraft this week, he said, teams use that against us. They say when you go to RCC, you get lost in the shuffle. That's kind of what came about the conversation. Well, that's exactly what this assistant coach told me in terms of receivers, He said, wow, if they go to RCC, they get lost in the shuffle. I'm like, well, yes and no. Would they send 5 receivers up to the next level last year? And that's what Coach Kraft's point is that go somewhere where they'll develop you, because at the next level, they don't waste any time. if you show up and you're not what they need, you're gone. And scholarships are getting increasingly more difficult because of the transfer portal. But if you do things right, good things can still happen.
And the good thing about Coach Kraft and RCC here is the transfer portal benefits him because a lot of those guys
bounce backs
come here.
I mean, and he's maintained this since we started working with him. Second down coming up. Out of the backfield, complete to the 35-yard line. And the tackle made. Making the catch for Mount San Jacinto, Roman Lonzo. Lonzo, a freshman wide receiver out of Paris. Making the tackle for Riverside City College, Jalen Curtis. First down, up to the 42-yard line. Oh, I'm sorry, third down, they said. Okay, third down. Got a couple of yards on the play, back to the 42 after those were the initial loss. Play action, here's the throw over the middle. Incomplete. Curtis on the coverage. The intended receiver for Mount San Jacinto was Max Hunter. Hunter out of Paloma Valley, another one of those schools down in the Menifee area. So the stadium now being in Menifee is a great benefit to Mount San Jacinto in terms of the recruiting and being able to showcase it. So tell me, you were there last year. What'd you think?
I think it's the second best stadium in all of California. I think, you put up Mount Sac, obviously, is just incredible. But Mount San Jacinto, I mean, it's a really fun place to watch a football game.
I mean, despite what's going on today, it's a good, the staff there is great. Casey Mazzotta obviously comes from his father's, pedigree over at Cerritos. That's what they're trying to put together over there. 76-16. RCC leads this one. Third down. Trying to go to the marker, and he'll get there. Nice little first down run by Gavin Roth. That's the thing about Gavin Roth, Jeff. Gavin Roth always made money for his partners.
Always.
I was going to say R.I.P. Dominic Chianese, but Dominic Chianese is still alive. Runs up to the 43 of RCC as the clock moving. But anyway, I always love talking with Coach Kraft. I had a great conversation with Coach Mazzotta, and I really think what he does is very positive. And, hopefully this can develop into a little bit of a series and a rivalry here in the region.
I totally think it will, because you don't have to drive all the way in the backside of Hammett to San Jacinto.
Roth goes down. Making the tackle for RCC is Isaiah Lizarraga out of Jurupa Hills. Lizarraga with the tackle.
Gonna bring up a second and long.
But yeah, down by you, the whole population center is getting pushed out that way. More people moving in.
And it's right off the freeway.
Roth looking downfield, incomplete. Double coverage down there for RCC. Intended receiver for Mount San Jacinto, Roman Lonzo.
Yeah, and like we said, most in the past, players in the Temecula Valley region, they would go over the top to Ortega Highway, go to Saddleback,
right,
and they would go to Mount Sac. They would come to RCC. So you're going to get guys now that are going to stay home because it is a great facility, and it's the campus now. It's a satellite campus, but it's grown to be a huge. Huge school.
And it was interesting. That was something that was pointed out to me. Roth over the middle. Nearly picked. Intended receiver was Mateo Lacan. But with the population growing, and that's one thing he talked about, is like, hey, I want this to truly be a community college in terms of, all those players from the area having a place to come. And with the population growing, there's more high schools now than you were in high school.
Oh.
And so there are all these new high schools, so there's all these new guys, all these new players. So there's more than enough players to go around. San Bernardino Valley had it going for a little bit, but I don't know what happened over there.
I think COVID, a lot of different things affected San Bernardino Valley.
Here's the punt, and it'll go into the end zone. Yeah, I mean, it's something out of control, but you mentioned it because I didn't realize this had to be explained to me. The Menifee campus was a satellite campus.
Yes.
And it'd been for like 20 years or so, right?
Yes.
And then, so they did have a couple of the women's soccer team, I think, and the softball team were the first teams to play. And it took a while for football to get over there. And they got the new stadium last year. So a lot of things coming together. They're now moving into the national conference in terms of the 3C2A. So a lot of things coming together for the Eagles in terms of the overall program. And unfortunately, tonight things didn't quite work out, as you can see by the score. And it looks like they're just going to go victory formation. So unofficially 659 yards for RCC. They won't hit 700, but 76 points is their highest total of the year. Second game where they've put up 70. And, the defense, they only allowed 210 yards to Mount San Jacinto. In fact, they hold the 27 rushing attempts, 11 rushing yards. So there it is right there. The Tigers, the 12th best rush defense in the state coming into the game. And this is impressive because the last 2 weeks, Jeff, last week against Fullerton, the Eagles put up 515 yards. The week before that, they put up 401 yards against Moore Park. And I don't think Moore Park's pretty solid, and Fullerton, we know how good Fullerton is.
And RCC is just, they're just good. We talked, last week there was mentions, that they could not get into the state championship or national championship, and that is so far removed. I mean, they could very easily be back in the mix.
Listen, this league, the team, and there's, Fullerton's in the league. Mount San Jacinto's and Mesa's been playing real well. The team that wins the conference is going to be in that.
Yes.
They'll be an automatic bid to the playoffs. And then if you win California, you have an opportunity to be in that mix. I think, and Brad Hoyce in his JC Gridiron poll, he had RCC 12th this week. Now they're, Mesa's in that mix. Mount Sac is it. So, they end up playing Mount Sac for the Southern California title. There you go. So timeout was taken there. But, there's so much football to be played.
Yes, there is.
There's so much football to be played.
I'd love to see RCC get another shot at Golden West.
Yeah. I bet you they would, too. And that's what they've been talking about is, obviously, Mount San Jacinto beat Fullerton. Golden West beat RCC. Those are discussions that are had. I think there was up north, there was a tight game going on with a couple of the top 10 teams. So he'll take the knee. So that was the 2-minute timeout. They'll take the knee as the shot clock, as the game. Now nobody started the clock. Now it started. So victory formation for RCC. They will go to 4-1 overall, 2-0 in conference play. So kneel down for Doolittle. And we said it a little bit. Brady Jones didn't play a whole lot the last 2 years. But Jared Doolittle getting an opportunity here behind Brady Jones, and going back to the point we're making about Coach Kraft about if you develop, you'll play. Well, Brady Jones sat for a year under Retzlaff, who's doing well at BYU, sat for a year behind Jordan Barton, who had 2 very good years at RCC, and obviously we see the numbers he's putting up. I think he went over 2,000 yards passing today in game number 6 or whatever, or 5, game number 5. So, 4-1, right? Yeah, so 3 non-league, because they'll play 7 league games. And I'll say this, with Mount San Jacinto, a timeout called by RCC with 37 seconds to play to avoid the penalty.
We have a timeout on the playing field, timeout Riverside.
And this is just stuff they're doing to avoid mistakes, like if it was a tighter game. But, they got out of the chute slow, meaning the Eagles last year. They ended the year winning 4 of their last 6. And coming in, they were 3-1 this year. And the big win, of course, last week against Fullerton. And I think the Tigers are at Fullerton on November 16th. So it'll all come full circle, Jeff.
All full circle. It's been a long afternoon.
Yeah, it's been all right.
I feel like I've aged like dog years.
It was strange for me because generally I stay at St. Gorham Manor on Friday night. For whatever reason, we couldn't work that out yesterday, so I drove home and drove back. So it was an early start for me today to leave the house fairly early to make sure and of course, whenever you're on time, there's never any traffic.
No, exactly.
But you leave 15 minutes late, all of a sudden everybody decides they want to go to Vegas. Yeah. And that's the thing is, we've been getting out quickly, so we've been spoiled like the last couple of years. We've been generally getting out in under 3 hours. Today, not the case.
53 minutes per quarter.
Yeah. Here's the punt. Samoski.
Oh, Samoski took a shot.
And the bobble. Kretz still in there. Will go down at the 40-yard line. 26 seconds to go. So let's close the book on the penalties. Great job, by the way, today by Mike Martinez on the stats. He was the one bringing them to you. So the final numbers on penalties, unless we have more of them. Mount San Jacinto, 13 penalties, 124 yards. RCC, 17 penalties, 172 yards. Through their first 5 games, the Tigers have been flagged 70 times.
Wow.
And through the first 5 for the Eagles, for good measure, 56. And both coaches, when I talked to them, said, yeah, that's something we need to clean up. So big numbers, 433 yards and 5 touchdowns for Brady Jones. Also had 52 yards rushing and a 44-yard touchdown. 2 big games for Tigers receivers. The running play, maybe we'll have to snap the ball one more time. Ball up to the 35-yard line. Dominic Cox, Jeff, 6 catches, 175 yards and a touchdown. Jackson Owens, 5 catches, 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here's the give to Darius Johnson. And that should be it. That'll be the final play here on a Saturday afternoon. A long Saturday afternoon for the Tigers, but they don't mind. 70 burger. They put 70 on the board, 76-16 over Mount San Jacinto.
And I'll tell you what, it started early in this game. We had 21 in the first to start the game, and they just did. They had a little bit of a lull at the end of the first half, but third quarter on, it was over.
We're talking with James Cook before the game, and we were talking about the defense, and he goes, hey, their passing game is the real deal. Quarterback, very talented. They got great receivers. Logan Gonzalez, who threw for 491 yards against Fullerton last week, 18 of 41, 197 yards, interceptions, and the Tiger defense was up to the task. And we always talk about the offense because it's ooh and ah and 700-yard games and whatnot. How consistent has James Cook's crew been the last 3 years we've been doing these games, Jeff?
It just seems like, we always talk about the offense because they do score.
Deservedly so, yeah.
But the defense, they just seem to stop all of these great supposed offensive juggernauts. And they do it it's routine.
Yeah.
It's routine.
It's the consistency. Coaches always talk about it. And, yeah, you can put up 51. I got to look at the numbers because the Tigers came in averaging 50.5 points per game. That's going to go up because they put up 76 today. That's going to go up. And that's hard. It's like they talk about when you're in Major League Baseball, you're hitting 340 and 350 to maintain that. Who had that? Ohtani had that streak where he was like 17 of 28 or whatever, and he was already hitting 3 whatever, and it went up 10 points. So here's the touchdown run from Turner. And a lot of different people got into the mix today. That was the interesting thing, is how many people got into the mix in terms of scoring the ball. Here's that's one of the pick sixes, or that's the pick 6 right there. How many different players caught passes or scored touchdowns? 4 players scored rushing touchdowns today. 4 players scored receiving touchdowns today. So forget about moving the ball around to receivers. It's also moving the touchdowns around. That doesn't include the defensive touchdowns.
Oh, they were just all over.
Boger had one, and then
that's right, my favorite player.
Yeah. We're waiting for Pep Fernandez. He's efforting somebody, Tom Kraft or a player. All right, we're going to wrap it up. So no post game with Pep. 76-16 the final, RCC over Mount San Jacinto. For Jeff Gorham, Pep Fernandez, our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew, my name is Ghazal Hassan. We'll talk to you next time. Talk to you next week on the high school side. We're back here October 26th when the Tigers take on Southwestern. 76-16 the final. Happy homecoming in the city of Riverside. So long, everybody.